Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their court.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're doing commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican police fervent Latinos. I didn't ask you to interrupt them. Oh, for Trump's sake.
Is that correct?
The zombie apocalypse may be upon us.
Good morning, good Friday Eve. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I'm the Recovery Addicts. We're in blue today. I'm feeling blue. Not like bad in a bad way. It's like not easy being green.
Have them send someone with more experience.
Should do that.
Scratch
Not
all
a
that.
camel.
That was terrible. I apologize.
Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Friday Eve. We are excited
When
to
are we
be
going to
here.
break for lunch, Judge?
Oh my goodness, we have a lot. I saw something earlier. I think Sim had said something
Is that
in chat.
correct?
Hang on, let me get this. Let me turn down the sound just a little bit. There we go. Where's my camera? Just a little bit off. Okay.
Alex stole it as well.
Okay, I'll just let you get it out of the system, and then it will be my turn to talk.
Back, taking it easy.
Then it'll be my turn to talk. Is that ready? You guys good with that? Okay. Here's what we got. Good morning. Happy Thursday. We're excited to be
Somebody
here.
just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.
Happy podcast day. It's good to be here. Oh man, we're excited. We had the verdict came in for Hannah Gutierrez last night. If you didn't see it, I won't spoil it for you other than tell you that hey, it was split. It was mixed, but I won't tell you how it was mixed. But so you'll have to go back and watch that. We have a few things to take care of today procedurally, and then we're going to pick up a small case. As you saw in the headlines, or in the title, it's a vehicular homicide DUI case. It's sad, but a lot of death cases are. So we're going to pick that up. That's with Judge Wolf. So we've got some catch up to do because it started yesterday. So we're going to be starting that, right away, really, so we can get caught up and probably work our way through lunch. Then let's see, what else do we have? Sim said something about, hey, can I get a message to RA about my good friend, Mr. Hogue from Hogue Law, who was up for a stroke award, a stroke hero award specifically. I did actually retweet this. I think Ian tweeted it out, and I retweeted it just a day or so ago, which is just awesome. I don't know how to get you the link. Unless one of the mods can access my Twitter feed. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this. This is advanced. Interneting. Profile. My car is honking at me. Oh, there it is. There's the link. We're going to do a copy link. Then I need to access my own YouTube stream. Let's see. What's my channel again? Oh, yes, I remember. There should be an easier way. I shouldn't have to search for it, right? There we go. There's the live stream. There. Hey, past me. How are you doing? I'm going to go ahead and paste that. Okay, so here's the link for voting for Mr. Hogue from Hogue Law right here. It would be awesome. It would be awesome if he won. If you guys know his story, if you know what happened, how he was able to just raise a ton of money for a good cause, that would be amazing to have you go ahead and support him in that contest and let him be recognized for the good work that he did. Amazing, and love that the LawTube can unite behind him in that. So that is really cool. Thank you for reminding me about that. I had it on Twitter already, but that's it. We are not covering the James Crumbley trial. I think uncivil law. Kurt.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
I think Kurt is going to be covering that. I I don't know if Brandy is, but we covered Jennifer. We're going to cover some other stuff, and possibly have an early Friday, because I found out last night that the gig I have this weekend, instead of having an easy Saturday and a very complicated Sunday, I have an extremely complicated Saturday and then a very complicated Sunday. So I need just a little bit of time. I literally have to build and set up. I've got audio loops where I'm feeding two sources and they're providing one. It's going to be, on paper, it's going to be a nightmare. And in reality, it's probably going to be worse. So I've got to do some work and configuration on that point. It's going to take some setup to get that set up, to not have feedback and still have everyone be able to hear what they're supposed to hear without any feedback loops. So that's the fun when you're running live sound and they ask you also to run Zoom. Normally you could just, take a web out, but then they provide, like, I have to play the video and it has to go to both sources, and you start having to, like, draw lines on paper and see where things are connected and rule things out. So that's exciting, but we'll get that sorted. We've got a day to do that. No rush. All right. Enjoy the stream over there. Adun Civil Law. Thank you very much for supporting Kurt. He's a great friend of the channel. Whoa, that was loud. We have a few birthdays this morning, but first, before birthdays, we have to first celebrate Angelique. Angelique, you were first in. Oh, let me put your name up. There we go. Angelique, you were first in chat today. First in chat has a punishment. It's clear. It's not a question of who done it today, because we all saw, Angelique. We all saw you. It was you. It was you. We have everybody else is a witness against you in this crime, and so everyone. Not only that did they see it, but they've all been willing to testify and say that you are the one who was guilty, the guilty party, breaking the silence of chat. And is Brandy covering a trial out of Tennessee? Is she covering the same trial that I'm covering? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure if it's the spicy one. Brandy's trial is a different one, I think. We've got a small one with Judge Wolf and Heavenly Wood, which we're super excited for. Let's see. So, Angelique, you're sentenced to internet ownership. You know the drill. You've been here long enough. You know the crime you committed. You know the punishment. You're in charge of maintaining everything worldwide that's connected to the internet. And if there are any problems, we will blame you. This does go on your permanent record. If you want a copy of your permanent record, you can pay the low fine of 50 cents over on the merchandise, the shopping page on the YouTube channel, and order your own certificate to commemorate this wonderful occasion. No profit made on the certificate, for those who know. I did put a couple items up there. I think it should show up. I haven't checked yet, but we did put a couple, I think a sticker and a mug or two, and maybe a shirt, a couple items with the thumbnail from the previous trial, from the Rust trial up there. If someone can dig through and see how to get to them, I have not been able to figure it out. It's on the page that it should be, but I just haven't been able to find it through YouTube. So that's up there. If anyone wants to take a look and then help us find it, that would be great. Nikki says I was the 1,132nd vote for Rick Hogue. That's awesome. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, birthdays. I'm not going to miss that. Where was the chat? I saw it. I had it a minute ago. It'll come back to me. It's not gone yet. Birthday. There it is. Boom. Okay. We're going to do a birthday song together because that's the best way to sing. Everyone, please join with me in singing. We're going to sing to Stephanie, Lynn, and Lynn Taylor, who have birthdays today. By the way, Thursday is a good day to have a birthday because tomorrow's Friday. It's like 2 birthday presents in a row. Here we go. Everyone, unite your voices. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. I lost it. Hang on one second. Hang on. We'll just pick up right where, as if nothing happened. Oh no. I put it back on latch. We have to...
Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
I know what the problem is. Some of you weren't singing. And it threw me off. This one is on you, guys. This one's on you. I cannot take Angelique a little bit. Part of this is on you. but it's also on. It's on some of. I need
experience.
everyone this time to sing together. We're going to sing to Stephanie, Lynn Taylor, and Connor. I have to write this down on one page.
There's a lawsuit.
Okay, it was my fault. I clicked off the words and then my brain went blank.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Stephanie, Lynn Taylor, and Connor. Okay. Now, are you guys ready to do it right this time?
I'm not a cat.
No more mistakes. We go. It's a good thing, Gene. It's a good thing we
Is that
we're
correct?
late because we're going to add Dale to this.
I'm not a camel.
It's a good thing we're late, or you would not have made it in time. Just saying, you got to be prompt on this one. All right, here we go. We're going to try this again. We're going to do this all over again, and this time, use your outside voices. Sing from your heart. Sing from your heart, and I'll do better as well. I promise. Okay, here we go. La 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 la. The warm up. That was it. Now we're going to get this done. Okay, we're going to sing Stephanie, Lynn Taylor, Connor, and Dale. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Stephanie, Lynn Taylor, Connor, and Dale. Happy birthday to you. For your birthday present, I just timed out a troll. I just timed out a troll indefinitely. Indefinitely. Thank you, Mr. Troll. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you where the good creators split you. I think that's what we're supposed to say, right? All right, welcome. Well, that put me in a good mood. That put me in a great mood. I'm sorry for the mess up this morning. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday this morning, we realize that there are many places you could celebrate and many people who would want to celebrate with you, but you are here with us, and that is special. We hope you can make your day a little bit better. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your special day with us. All right, are there any mods here? Any mods? Would you say mod? Define mod. We use the term loosely. All right. Angelique says, "Is this internet related?" It was, but we're back. We're back. Round two. I should have said first try after that one. Round two was okay. Ashley, I'm okay today. I'm okay. I have a headache. My wife has a splitting migraine. My headache is not bad, not as bad as hers. So it's been a little rough morning. But we are back. We do have a trial to start. Weather Watches, I'm here. What did I miss? Sixfold as well. We just added a little troll. And by little, I mean I could barely see the top of his head from where he sits in his mom's basement. I could barely see it. But all good. We took care of it. So tonight we have. Amber's like, I was getting coffee. Nothing ever goes wrong during the birthday song. Christine, we are not going to cover the James Crumbley trial. We are going to cover some other trials, and I would highly recommend some of our good friends if you're really set on that trial. And I realize it's going to be a cool one, but for a lot of us, it will be almost identical to what we sat through before, and so it might get a little slow, it might get a little repetitive. There are some other ones out there that we're going to try to cover, including this one with the vehicular homicide trial, jury trial out of Tennessee with Judge Wolf that we're going to start here in just a moment. And it has, I've already picked out what we're going to count on this trial. We're counting y'alls. And it doesn't matter which one of y'all says it, as long as it's not one of us. If there's a y'all in court, where you're going to count it. I'm not sure if we should count like variants, like properly, like y'all is a conjugation, right? It's you all. Do we count you all as well? Or do we just count y'alls? Angelique, thank you for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. I had another gift that was on the screen and it is gone. Let me see if I can pull it up over here. I lost the membership, the message. Did you guys see who that came from? There was a $10 super chat that appeared and then disappeared. It's not a contraction, it's a conjugation. The English teacher, Red Pen, putting me in my place this morning with, in red, she writes, y'all is a contraction, not a conjunction. Conjugation. These are big words. It's almost like a Monday, Red Pen. It's a contraction. They've contracted the two words together at the conjunction. I'm sorry. English was not my strong suit. I realized I did win the writing contest at my college, my first time I entered. But that says not so much about me as about everybody else. I'm not qualified to teach or even testify about English. I barely speak it myself. All right, we are going to. Adam, thank you very much. Out and About with Diane, a member for 6 months, says, Gravy Train Choo Choo, here's my milk money, RA. Thank you for all your hard work over the past few weeks. Adam, thank you for saving that. Thanks for going back and retrieving that for me. I don't know why Out and About, Diane, I was not able to put that on the screen. I appreciate that. It cleared and it's gone out of my, it's supposed to save it on another screen. And it's just not there on the,
Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
I don't know what's happening. What's happening? The computers. Angelique, fix this. You guys saw it wasn't there before, right? You just had the one green bar, and now it's yellow. You can rewind and see. I've got the receipts on this one. Tisha S. also gifted a membership. Thank you so much. We just need to start court today, and that's it.
The zombie apocalypse may be upon us.
I am stressed out to my eyeballs about this weekend. I need some caffeine. I probably do. I'm out of Mountain Dew, and it's making me grumpy. Yes, internet person, Angelique, I need help. Anyway, this is fun. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me, even though I messed up pretty much in every possible way this morning, and I think I was late. So I did that, but my apologies. We're going to start now. We're going to start with court. Britt Bottom says, check the burner. Wait, Amber's calling in. If you're calling to laugh at me, Amber, I'm going to mute you. Just kidding. Amber, are you there?
I'm here.
Why are you muting your end of the phone?
I'm trying to stifle my laugh.
Oh, man.
I was really just calling to check on you. Are you okay? Do we need to take a break?
I thought I could make it to the weekend. Let me tell you, I woke up so excited for today. So excited because although I'm super stressed about the gig and them completely like this is equivalent to like if let's see, how can we relate this? Let's do it as a race car analogy because we all watch racing. Let's say you're watching a Formula One race and you're not just watching it. It's your job to film the race. And you've set up all your cameras and everything, and you're ready. You've got all your equipment. You filmed it in years past. You know exactly what you're doing. And then, as the cars are like revving their engines at the starting line, the person in charge leans over and is like, "By the way, we've changed the course this year, and we've added that jump and the triple loop." And you're like, "What jump and triple loop? I don't have cameras or people or I don't even know where this is on the course." It's that sort of feeling that I have. And they're getting ready to drop the flag.
Don't miss the forest for the trees.
And I'm when I got the call, you know what I did when he got the call and he told me, he's like, "Hey, by the way, this is what's going to happen." I said, "Sure." I said, "Sure." No problem. Yeah, we're good. And they're like, "Oh, just add it to the invoice." "Oh, I will. That invoice is growing substantially." But I did say sure, and now I'm hooked. And so the flag is dropping. I'm scrambling cameras. I'm still calling people on Craigslist saying, "Hey, do you know how to run a camera? Real quick, I need you on turn 2." That's where I'm at as far as this goes. I thrive in this environment. I really do. I really think we're going to knock it out of the park. But I might get an ulcer in the process. So that's where we're at. So I could use a little court to take a little little stress off my shoulders while I'm still thinking through if I have enough HDMI cables to make this happen. Because now it's too late to order them. I won't get them in time. I have to make do with what I have. Oh my goodness!
I mean, how many more do you need?
I need all of the cables. I need all the cables. But I'm very picky about HDMI cables. Oh my goodness! Imagine. What's a good? I need another analogy. I wish Ian were here. He could give me great analogies. Imagine.
You know what you just reminded me of.
Yeah.
You reminded me that I need to make sure I take my ADD meds. I haven't taken my meds yet this morning.
What a morning to have an anniversary. Weather watch. Let me tell you, first, I was so excited waking up this morning because we have the podcast tonight. And I have never been so excited for a podcast as I am tonight. We have a guest that's absolutely amazing that Thomas found, a great guy. I cannot wait to both meet him and introduce you to him. I'm super excited. That's going to be 8 o'clock tonight on this channel. Love it. I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled. And I was focused on that and what's happening this weekend, and I could not even get English right in my open. So we're gonna. If you caught this, if you're here while this happened, congratulations. This will be edited out of the final stream. Okay. It's just not going to be there.
We're getting to see Scott in a rare form today.
Oh. I have to admit, even though I said that Hannah Gutierrez, all along I've said that I felt she would be convicted on this. It didn't sit well with me. It didn't sit well for some reason, and I don't know. Maybe the closing argument of the defense resonated with me more than I thought it would, which it shouldn't because it's not evidence. I listened to all the evidence, but something just didn't feel right.
I think when they made lesser included an option, I think it was almost understood that that's what would end up being acceptable because there were so many culpable people involved and responsible. You know, I think once we had that lesser included option, everybody thought, okay, we would go for negligence here.
Is that correct?
A lot of people that were on the fence were like, okay, no, I would say not guilty on involuntary manslaughter, but I would definitely say guilty on negligence. I think once we had that option of that lesser included, it felt more appropriate because of how many culpable people there were. And then when that didn't happen, we're all like, I don't know that was fair.
Amber, I'm going to send you the payment for the counseling you're providing. I appreciate that as you talk me through my issues.
Is your heart rate slowed down now?
A little bit. I'm feeling a little better. I'm excited. We've got cameras ready to go on the Wolf case. We have to catch up from yesterday, but they start late. They take a lunch. I think we're going to catch up today. We're going to get caught up. So we're starting with yesterday's trial. It's a little bit sad, and I've got to give some warnings, some content warnings out here. We've got body camera footage. It's not blurred, but I've pre-watched the body camera footage. It's not bad. I'm not even sure if you can tell what you're looking at, but there was a fatality in the accident, and there's a brief glance past the car. So we'll do a content warning for that when the time is right. The driver of the vehicle is very distraught and vocal about that. So that's going to be in there as well. She's also quite drunk. And so when she gets handsy with a police officer during that moment, you'll see what happens. It explains everything.
So I want all of chat to understand and know that the mods do not get a heads up. We're doing next.
The mods get the worst end of this deal. I can tell you.
We have no idea what you're fixing to see either.
5 o'clock in the morning, the mods start talking and start they're like building each other up, saying, look, we don't know what he's going to throw at us today. Are you guys ready? You know, who can support who? It's like, well, I did it yesterday and I'm still a little bruised and broken. And so they all morning, the mods are just like gearing up to like, we don't, this can go anywhere every day. And we've got a new trial. We have no idea.
Know what time we were starting this morning.
I'm the
That's what
worst
we were covering.
the worst channel host in the history of YouTube when it comes to treating mods, and they are the best mods on YouTube. I don't know how we found each other
They even
and why
call
you
and
stay.
talk you down.
Yes, but
Miles,
it's amazing. Can someone please do a Mountain Dew remote drone order to RA? Oh man, I kid you not. I
feel like you need. I feel like you need that caffeine fix. You shocked your system when you don't usually drink Mountain Dew except
I did.
in case of emergency.
I did 8 bottles of Mountain Dew today, and they were only 12 ounces instead of what's this, like 16. But I have not recovered. I've not recovered. My equilibrium is swinging wildly out of control. So I will tell you, I thought I was in a good place. You know what I did this morning? I got up.
I thought I was in a good place.
I got up and I got out all the fixings for omelets. And I'm plugging in the griddle, and my wife had browned some sausage. And so that was in the fridge, so it was like pre-cooked, but you just had to warm it up. So I got some of that out, and I'm putting spoonfuls of that on the grill, and it's sizzling and popping. And I'm mixing up the eggs, and neighbors brought over like farm fresh cage-free eggs, because somebody gave them like three dozen chickens, and there are just 2 of them, and they're like, we have eggs appearing faster than we can pick them up, and they're like, does anyone need eggs? Anybody? And they're trying to give away. They show up at functions. They've just got like carts of eggs, and they're like, hey, how are you doing? Have some eggs. Here, have some eggs. Anyway, so I had great, fresh eggs. Got a little Swiss, not Swiss, mozzarella and cheddar cheese. Had that going, mixed it up. I pulled out the flat iron. This is this right. It's the flat iron, the hot stuff, the red one, and just did a dash in the omelet. Cooked that thing up with a little sausage in the middle. That was the best omelet I have ever had. I'm thinking today's going to be perfect. Today is going to be wonderful. It's going to be smooth sailing. I gave myself a huge buffer. We weren't going to start till 9 a.m. And I even combed my hair. This morning, which you guys know doesn't always happen, right? Don't clip it to see which ones, but some days I don't comb my hair as well as other days. And then I sat down and it all went to Hales. It's the Hales' fault. That's it. What the Hales? It's their court case that's throwing this whole thing off.
So on that note, I'm going to go take my ADD meds.
All right.
Before I forget again.
Amber, thank you. It's great talking to you. Appreciate you and all our wonderful mods, the great work they do.
Of course.
Have a good day. We're going to get court kicked off here. We'll see you. Bye. All right. That's now you know more about me than I think I know. I think I've overshared this morning, and for that I do apologize. My pledge to not be too opinionated regarding the DUI. Says like in my briefs. I hear you. This might be a tough one for some people. Let's be polite. Let's think this one through. I will tell you there are some funny moments in this trial, and I may interject a little bit. I haven't seen all of it, and obviously it's still going on, so I don't know how this is going to end. But yeah, it's all good. Weather Watch, let it all out. He's saying let it all out before the podcast, before I have to deal with it directly. That's what Weather Watch is saying with that comment. Big Sky DMC just hit the 12-month mark. Wahoozy, 1 year, Orange Courthouse. That is awesome, Big Sky. That is just great. Thank you so much for your support. All right, let's do this. Are you ready for trial? Is there anything else we have to cover? Did I forget something? I'm pretty sure I probably forgot something too. Something crazy is in the air today. Lynn says, I can't work. I'm cracking up. You've got to get it together for Lynn's sake. Take all the eggs. They're $9 a dozen here in Cali. Ooh, new business idea. That probably pays better than enlarging images, which was my current plan, at least plan B. All right, we're going to start. Let me take us down to court. For those that are not familiar, we're going to Judge Wolf's court. This is the courtroom of Heavenly Wood. And if you haven't heard the story, Heavenly Wood is referring to a business which I think is now defunct, and probably for good reason, if I can say that without getting sued. But I used to work for them a long time ago, and it was I'll be very careful with my words here. To me, it seemed shady. It seemed like we were buying someone else's products and then selling them as if they were our own, and really not providing a lot of added quality or service. And one of the things we bought and sold were the items that would be found, say, in a church or a courtroom, especially wooden furniture. So lecterns, benches, desks, credenzas, but more like that formal type environment. You'll see if you have not seen Judge Wolf here before, you're going to see that shortly. Let me go ahead and get him pulled up here. Right here. There we go. Here we are. We're in court now. Everyone has to behave. Let's make this full screen. How do I do that? Oh, like that. Okay. Lego My Brief says, my pledge not to be too opinionated regarding DUI. Thank you, Lego My Briefs. Appreciate the support as well. Also, we have a 10-month membership from Carla Larson. Yay, 10 months. So glad I got the day off to hang out with you guys. Okay, Miss McKinney, right here. We're going to hear about her later, about lunchtime. She is the judicial law clerk, and she's going to disappear.
I apologize.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defendant, Haley Jordan Brown, is charged in the indictment with count 1 in the crime of vehicular homicide by intoxication. In count 2, the defendant is charged with vehicular homicide by recklessness. In count 3, the defendant is charged with driving under the influence. The defendant pleads not guilty to each and every offense embraced in the indictment. Before we begin the trial, I would like to tell you a little bit about what will happen during the course of these proceedings. I want to describe basically how the trial will be conducted and what the attorneys, jurors, and judge will be doing over the course of the trial. At the end of the trial, I will give you more detailed instructions on how you're to go about reaching your decision. But now I simply want to explain how the trial will proceed. The law applicable to this case is stated in these instructions and those that follow, and it is your duty to carefully consider all of them. The order in which these instructions are given is no indication of their relative importance. You should not single out one or more of them to the exclusion of another or others, but should consider each one in the light of and in harmony with the others. The defendant has been charged by the state of Tennessee with a violation of state law. The document containing the charges is referred to as an indictment. An indictment is the formal accusation charging a defendant with a crime and is not evidence of anything. The defendant is charged in count 1 in the indictment with vehicular homicide by intoxication. For you to find the defendant guilty of this offense, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, acting recklessly while operating a motor vehicle, killed the alleged victim, Jason Lee Brown, and that the killing was the proximate result of the driver's intoxication. The defendant is charged in count 2 in the indictment with vehicular homicide by recklessness. For you to find the defendant guilty of this offense, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, acting recklessly while operating a motor vehicle, killed the alleged victim, Jason Lee Brown, and that the killing was the approximate result of the driver's conduct, creating a substantial risk of death or serious bodily injury to a person. The defendant is charged in count 3 in the indictment with driving under the influence. For you to find the defendant guilty of this offense, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, while having a blood or breath alcohol concentration of 0.08% or greater, was driving or in physical control of an automobile or motor-driven vehicle on a public road or highway, and or a location which is generally frequented by the public at large. The defendant has pled not guilty to the charges. She is presumed innocent and may not be found guilty by you unless, after hearing all of the evidence, attorneys' arguments, and instructions of law, the 12 jurors seated in this case unanimously find that the state has proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. The first step in the trial will be the attorney's opening statements. The state will tell you about the evidence it intends to present, so that you will have an idea of what the state's case is about. This opening statement is not evidence. Its only purpose is to help you understand what the evidence will be and what the state will attempt to prove. After the state's opening statement, an attorney for the defendant may make an opening statement if he or she should so choose. Again, statements of attorneys are not evidence. Next will be the state's case in chief, in which the state will present its evidence. The evidence in the case will most likely consist of physical exhibits, documents, and the testimony of witnesses. The witnesses will testify by answering questions asked by the attorneys. Venue of the offense lies in the county where the offense was commenced or consummated. If you find that the state has failed to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that this offense was commenced or consummated in Dickson County, Tennessee, then you must return a verdict of not guilty. After the state completes its case in chief, the defense will be given an opportunity to present evidence through witnesses and exhibits. A defendant is not required to put on any evidence or to testify. The burden is always on the state to convince you that the defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If the defense does present proof, the state may then put on what is known as rebuttal proof. After the state's rebuttal, the defense may put on further proof. After you have heard all of the evidence, the state and the defense may present final arguments. I previously told you that opening statements by the attorneys are not evidence. Likewise, closing arguments are not evidence. In closing arguments, the parties will attempt to summarize their cases and help you to understand the evidence that was presented. The final part of the trial occurs when I instruct you about the rules of law that you're to use in reaching your verdict. After you hear my instructions, I will select and excuse the alternate jurors, and the final 12 jurors will leave the courtroom together as a group. You will then begin your deliberations to make a decision in the case. Your deliberations will be secret, and you will not be required to explain your verdict to anyone. Now that I have described in outline form the trial itself, let me explain the functions that you and I will perform during the trial. I will decide which rules of law apply to the case. My decisions will be reflected in my responses to questions and objections the attorneys raised during the trial, as well as in my final jury instructions. It is your job to determine what the facts are from the evidence. You must then apply the law and my instructions to the facts, and from that application you will arrive at a verdict. The state has the burden of proving the guilt of the defendant beyond a reasonable doubt, and this burden remains on the state throughout the entire case. Keep in mind that the defendant is presumed to be innocent of the charges against her. Thus, the defendant is not required to prove her innocence, to have her attorney make any statements or arguments, or to produce any evidence. Reasonable doubt is that doubt created by an investigation of all of the proof in the case, and an inability after such investigation to let the mind rest easily as to the certainty of guilt. Absolute certainty of guilt is not demanded by the law to convict of any criminal charge, but moral certainty is required, and this certainty is required as to every element of proof necessary to constitute the offense. You as jurors must decide whether the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant has committed the crimes charged in the indictment. You must consider the evidence in each count separately. You must base that decision only on the evidence in the case and my instructions about the law. Witnesses will testify in response to questions from the attorneys. Witnesses are first asked questions by the party who calls the witness to testify, and then the other side is permitted to cross-examine the witnesses. Although evidence is presented by asking questions, the questions themselves are not evidence. An insinuation contained in a question is not evidence. You should consider a question only as it gives meaning to a witness's answer. In addition, members of the jury may ask questions of the witness if desired. The procedure for a juror to ask a question of the witness is that the question must be written down and submitted to me. Do not put your name on the question, as the questions of the juror are required to be anonymous. If a juror has a question that he or she would like to have asked of a witness, that question must be submitted in writing while the witness remains on the witness stand. At the end of the witness's testimony, the jury will be excused and I will consider the questions of the jury on the record. Then the jury will return to the courtroom. If the question is allowed by the rules of evidence, the question will be asked either by me or by one of the lawyers. You should not place any significance upon the fact that I asked the question of the witness, or whether one of the lawyers asked the question. In either event, the question is being asked of the witness, solely because it was desired by a juror. The wording of the question may be altered by me, or the question may not be asked at all. If the question is altered by me, you must assume I had a valid legal reason for altering it, and you should place no significance upon this fact, nor should you draw any inference from it. I may refuse to ask the question at all. In that case, you likewise should place no significance upon this fact, nor should you draw any inference from it. Many times, our rules of evidence do not allow certain questions to be asked, even if both sides desire to do so. After the trial, if you wish to know the answer to your question, or the reason that it could not be asked, please ask after court is adjourned and I will attempt to explain it to you.
That's cool.
An important part of your job will be making judgments about the testimony of the witnesses who testify. You should decide whether you believe what each person says and the importance of his or her testimony. In making that decision, I suggest you ask yourself a few questions. Did the person impress you as honest? Did he or she have any particular reason not to tell the truth? Did he or she have a personal interest in the outcome of the case? Did the witness have any motive, bias, or prejudice that would influence the witness's testimony? Did the witness seem to have a memory of the events he or she testified about? Did the witness have the opportunity and ability to observe accurately the things he or she testified about? Did he or she appear to understand the questions clearly and answer them directly? Was the witness distracted in any way? How did the witness look and act while testifying? Was the witness making an honest effort to tell the truth, or did the witness evade questions? Did a witness's testimony differ from the testimony of other witnesses? Another factor for you to consider in evaluating a witness's testimony is whether the witness's testimony during cross-examination appeared to be contradictory, unreasonable, and improbable. However, immaterial or minor discrepancies or differences should not affect the believability of a witness unless it should plainly appear that the witness has willfully testified falsely. When a witness is thus impeached, the jury has the right to disregard his or her evidence and treat it as untrue, except where it is corroborated by other credible testimony or by the facts and circumstances proved on the trial. As the sole judges of the facts, you must determine which of the witness's testimony you accept, what weight you attach to it, and what inferences you will draw from it. The law does not, however, require you to accept all of the evidence. In deciding what evidence you will accept, you must make your own evaluation of the testimony given by each of the witnesses and determine the weight you will give to that testimony. You must decide which witnesses you believe and how important you think their testimony is. You are not required to accept or reject everything a witness says. You are free to believe all, none, or part of any person's testimony. In deciding which testimony you believe, you should rely on your own common sense and everyday experiences. There is no fixed set of rules to use in deciding whether you believe a witness. In making up your mind and reaching a verdict, do not base any decisions on the fact that there are more witnesses on one side than on the other. Likewise, do not reach a conclusion on a particular point just because more witnesses testified for one side on that point. Your job is to think about the testimony of each witness you heard and decide the facts. At times during the trial, an attorney may make an objection to a question that is asked by another attorney or to an answer that a witness gives. This simply means that the attorney is requesting that I decide on a particular rule of law. Do not draw any conclusion from the fact that an objection was made or from my ruling on that objection. My rulings only relate to the legal questions that I must determine and should not influence your thinking. If I sustain an objection to a question, the witness will not be permitted to answer the question. Do not attempt to guess what the answer might have been had the witness been permitted to give it. Similarly, if I tell you not to consider a particular statement that was made, you should put that statement out of your mind, and you may not refer to that statement in your later deliberations. In deciding this case, you may not draw any inference from an unanswered question, and you may not consider testimony that you are instructed to disregard. Any arguments about objections or motions are usually required to be made by the attorneys out of the hearing of the jury. Information may be excluded because it is not legally admissible. Excluded information cannot be considered in reaching your decision. A ruling that is made on an objection or motion will be based solely upon the law. You must not infer from a ruling that I hold any view or opinion for or against any party in this lawsuit. Some of you have probably heard the term circumstantial evidence and direct evidence. These are the two basic types of evidence that exist in the law. Direct evidence is direct proof of a fact, such as the testimony of an eyewitness. Direct evidence is those parts of the testimony admitted in court which refer to what happened and was testified to by witnesses who saw, heard, or otherwise sensed what happened firsthand. If witnesses testified about what they themselves saw, heard, or otherwise sensed, they presented direct evidence. Circumstantial evidence is all of the testimony it exhibits which give you clues about what happened in an indirect way. It consists of all of the evidence which is not direct evidence. Do not assume that direct evidence is always better than circumstantial evidence. According to our laws, direct evidence is not necessarily better than circumstantial evidence. Either type of evidence can prove a fact if it is convincing enough. A defendant may be convicted on direct evidence, circumstantial evidence, or both. The court will not provide you with a transcript of the testimony at the end of the trial. Therefore, you must listen very carefully to the testimony. Each of you will be allowed to take notes during the trial for your own use during your deliberations. You're not required to take notes. Independent memory can be as accurate as written notes. You will be provided with paper and pen if you decide to take notes. There are several rules concerning your conduct during the trial and during recesses that you should keep in mind. First, do not discuss the case either among yourselves during the trial until I instruct you on the law and you start deliberating at the end of the case. You must keep an open mind until you have heard all of the evidence, the attorney's closing arguments, and my final instructions concerning the law. Any discussions before the conclusion of the case would be premature and improper. Second, during the course of the trial, you should not talk with any witness, defendant, or attorney involved in this case. Please do not talk with them about any subject whatsoever. You may see them in the hallway, on an elevator, or at some other location. If you do, perhaps the best standing rule is not to say anything. Third, do not permit any other person to discuss the case in your presence. If anyone does attempt to do so, report this fact to the court immediately without discussing the incident with any of the other jurors. I do not know if there will be any media reports in the newspapers, on TV, or on the radio about this particular case. If there are, you are not permitted to read, watch, or listen to those reports. You as jurors must base your decision solely on the evidence you hear in the courtroom. You may not communicate with anyone or provide any information, photographs, or video to anyone by any means about the case on your cell phone, through email, Android, iPhone, text messaging, video, FaceTime, Google Duo, Zoom, Facebook Messenger, Skype, through any blog or website,
MySpace,
through any internet chat room, or by way of any other social networking website, including but not limited to MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Meetup, Pinterest, Reddit, and YouTube, especially including the live stream of this trial. In keeping with the state of Tennessee's open access to the court's public policy, the majority of court proceedings are live streamed via YouTube. You as jurors are not recorded on video or shown on camera. You are not permitted to read, watch, or listen to those YouTube streams during the trial. You as jurors must base your decision solely on the evidence you hear in the courtroom. I will remind you of your duty and responsibility before all breaks and jury out hearings, and trust you will follow my instructions in keeping with the integrity of the case and the court proceedings. During the course of the trial, you will receive all of the evidence that you may properly consider to decide the case. Because of this, you should not attempt to do any research on your own or gather any information on your own that you think might be helpful. Do not conduct your own private investigation into this case, although you may be tempted to do so. For example, do not visit the scene of the incident, read any textbooks or articles concerning any issue in this case, or consult any other source of information. If you were to do that, you would be getting information that is not evidence. You must decide this case only on the evidence and law presented to you during the trial. Any juror who receives any information about this case other than that presented at trial must notify the court immediately. Finally, during the course of the trial, I may have to interrupt the proceedings to confer with the attorneys about the rules of law that should apply. In some cases, we may have bench conferences in the courtroom outside of your hearing.
Bench.
And in some instances, I may ask you to retire to the jury room while we discuss a matter out of your presence. I will try to avoid as many of these interruptions as possible. I ask your patience because these interruptions are necessary points in the trial where we have to resolve legal issues. In the long run, they save time for all of us. If anyone needs a break at any time, please do not hesitate to ask. Simply raise your hand. If I do not see you, get the attention of one of your court officers who will advise me that a juror needs a break. Normally, I'll try to conclude the testimony of a witness before taking a break. The usual break times are at 10:30 in the morning and 2:30 in the afternoon, with a normal hour between 12 and 1 for lunch. If you need a break at any other time, please ask. A juror who is distracted is not paying full attention to the testimony. Both parties are entitled to your full, undivided attention to the case. If after your deliberations you find the defendant guilty of any offense, the court will set the punishment at a separate sentencing hearing. The jury will not be involved in setting this punishment. This completes my opening comments to you. In the next phase of the trial is the formal reading to you of the indictments in the case. We're going to go ahead and do that and then break for lunch before the opening statements.
Okay, so hold tight. Before they do that, I want to bring something up because I think I've got all the messages that were not working. YouTube's working now, so I'm able to see them. So I'm going to bring those up and recognize all y'all. So we had Out and About with Diane. I'm sorry I missed that initially when that first came through. Tisha gifted a membership. Thank you very much. Wallflower also gifted a membership. Britta Aller, there's your 10-month message. Says another month with this wonderful group of friends. Wouldn't want to watch a trial anywhere else. Thank you, Britta. Thank you so much. Let's see. We have Weather Watch, one of our great mods, good friend and podcast partner. Says, what a morning to have an anniversary. 14 months, Weather Watch. Angelique donated to the Mountain Dew Funds, which is much needed today. Thank you very much. We also had Bite Me, said, can someone please do a Mountain Dew remote drone order for RA? And Judy D came in with a DoorDash Dew. So we might be able to make this happen. Lego My Brief says, my pledge to not be too opinionated regarding DUI. I realize this is for some people, this is a very, very difficult case, and I'm mindful of that. If this is not right for you, if this puts you in a bad space or takes you somewhere where you just don't want to be, please sit this one out. I apologize. We will miss you, obviously, but you are more important than you being here during this case if it's not good for you. So please be mindful of yourself and your feelings and memories and issues this may bring up. As I guess this applies basically to every case, but as with our channel named Recovery Addict and our community full of people who are in recovery, I realize that might especially apply in this one. So thank you very much for that. Big Sky DMC, Wahoozy, 1 year, Orange Courthouse, thank you very much, 12 months there. Carla Larson says, 10 months, so glad I got the day off to hang with you guys. That's awesome, Carla. Hopefully we can make it fun for you. Judy D says, thank you so much, Big Sky DMC and RA. You missed my first super chat. I did, but I went back and I found it. I did find it. And yes, that was your first super chat on a live stream. Thank you so much. I'm honored. I'm truly honored. Let's see. Kate Cat, Big Sky DMC, thank you for the gift. RA, I feel bad for Amber. Her face is going to hurt from laughing so much this morning. Love this channel. Thank you, Kate Cat. Lucky 13 says, can anyone make my 4:30 bench I think he meant bench conference, please. Yes. That's what I thought he said. I think he meant bench. Lee says, Lucky 13, been a good ride with you, Scott. 13 months, Lee. Wonderful. I appreciate all of you. Big Sky, thanks for the huge gift of 10 memberships. That is awesome. And so I apologize. I missed some of those. I think YouTube's caught up and is not like sleeping again. So I think we'll catch them as they come in now. But we're going to begin. They're going to read the indictments very quickly. This is fairly brief. And then we're going to be skipping breaks and going straight into the witnesses. And when I say this is a speedy trial, you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean regarding this. There are some witnesses that barely even take their seat. It's pretty quick.
In the Circuit Court for Dixon County, Tennessee, at Charlotte, May turn of the Grand Jury 2021.
Listen for those y'alls.
The grand jurors of Dixon County, Tennessee, duly impaneled and sworn upon their oaths, do present that on or about October 3rd, 2020, in Dixon County, Tennessee, and prior to the finding of this presentment, Haley Jordan Brown, then and there, did unlawfully, recklessly kill Mr. Jason Lee Brown, date of birth 5/10/1987, by the operation of a motor vehicle, the killing of Mr. Jason Lee Brown being the proximate result of Haley Jordan Brown's intoxication as set forth in TCA 55-10-401, and as operator of said motor vehicle in violation of TCA 39-13-213A2 and against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Count 2. And the grand jurors aforesaid upon their oaths aforesaid do further present and say that on or about October 3rd, 2020 and prior to the finding of this presentment and the county and state aforesaid, the said Haley Jordan Brown then and there did unlawfully and recklessly kill Mr. Jason Lee Brown by the operation of an automobile. The killing of Mr. Jason Lee Brown being the proximate result of Haley Jordan Brown's conduct, creating a substantial risk of death or serious bodily injury to a person in violation of TCA 39-13-213A1, all of which is against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Count 3, And the grand jurors aforesaid, upon their oaths aforesaid, do further present and say that on or about October 3rd, 2020, and prior to the finding of this presentment in the county and state aforesaid, the said Haley Jordan Brown then and there did unlawfully, while having an alcohol concentration in her blood or breath of 0.08% or greater, drive and or physically control an automobile and or a motorized vehicle upon a public highway and or an area frequented by the public at large in said Dixon County, Tennessee, in violation of TCA 5510-401, all of which is against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee.
To that indictment, how does the defendant plead?
Your Honor, defendant pleads not guilty to all charges.
Not guilty plea is entered. Ladies and gentlemen, the next step will be the opening statements of the attorneys, and we are now arrived at the moment of lunch. So it's at noon. We will recess until 1:15 for your lunch break. And when you come back, if you will follow the instructions of Officer Howell, we'll have you in the jury room. You won't come back in and have a seat until we're ready to call you in. So when you come back, the bailiffs will direct you back to the jury room. We'll ask you to gather there when you come back. Court will stand in recess until 1:15.
All right.
Okay, it's going to be quick, guys. Don't get up and leave your seat because we're ready to start right now. Lunch is over already. Lunch is over. This is a tough case. This is a tough case. Thanks for fixing the camera there, Mr. Bailiff. Does he have the hiccups? There it is, that button. There we go. Zoom out so we can see the heavenly wood. All right, just waiting for the judge to come back. This is a single car accident. Intoxication levels, I believe, were quite high. We're going to hear some numbers here. But a lot of tools on the vest for a bailiff in the courtroom. Let me say that he has all the tools. If there's an option that a bailiff can carry, he has selected that box and has the item with him.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
Just waiting for the judge. We're going to skip 5 seconds. There we go.
All right, Mr. Arnold, your witness, medical examiner, is going to testify via Zoom, is in the waiting room. Does he know what time he's going to be called? Because we have opening statements to make along with your live photo.
He does, Judge. He knows it'll be a little bit.
He's okay to wait, right?
Yes, Judge.
All right, then we're ready for the jury. Anything to take up before we bring the jury in?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
And we are ready. Ready.
Opening statements are going to explain this as the jury comes in. The opening statement will explain, yes, she is charged with the death of her husband, a single car accident, and he was in the vehicle. We are going to see body camera image that is of that scene. I've previewed it, and it is not gory. It's you barely get a glimpse inside the car where the husband was at the time, or is at the time. I was not able to discern even what I was looking at in the view. I could not see any blood or anything. So, but please just be aware that is coming up in the body camera portion.
And you, folks, y'all can sit anywhere you want to now.
There's the first one.
The jury selection finished. So.
Y'all, you guys listen for that y'all. It sneaks up on you and you'll miss it. So I need people to listen for y'alls and keep me honest.
Sit wherever you want.
It's a very chatty jury.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We are ready to proceed with the opening statements of the attorneys. So, Mr. Arnold, for the state, you may proceed.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all are about to see proof that on October 3rd, 2020, just a little bit before 8 p.m., there was a violent motor vehicle collision on West Walnut Street in Dixon, Tennessee, in Dixon County, Tennessee. A vehicle, you guys will hear testimony from a crash reconstructionist, that a vehicle being piloted by Haley Brown was in speeds of about 60 miles an hour coming around a curve on West Walnut Street, lost control on that curve, started doing something called side slipping, creating what's called a critical speed yaw.
That was not a yaw.
Ends up overcorrecting, striking a sidewalk, and then striking a telephone pole, which spins the vehicle around completely. In the process of this occurrence, the passenger in that vehicle, Jason Lee Brown, lost his life. Now, y'all won't just hear testimony, because you guys will see, y'all will hear some testimony from some citizens who responded, who live in that general area, called 911, heard it, responded onto the scene. But you guys will also see body camera footage of responding police officers to the scene. Y'all will see Haley Brown on that footage, on the scene, interacting with Eric Chandler, an officer with the Dixon Police Department. Y'all will see her interacting with Sierra Progel, another officer for the Dixon Police Department. And you guys will hear testimony from those officers and will watch their footage. Over the course of an investigation that evening, Ms. Brown will be transported to Dixon Horizon Medical Center. You guys will see, again, body camera footage. You won't watch the entire thing continuously, but you'll see a lot of the body camera footage from the beginning through this process. You guys will see her being treated. You'll be able to form your own opinions about her state. You will ultimately see around 10:40 p.m. Sergeant Summerhour from the Dixon Police Department interacting with Ms. Brown, asking her, reading to her something called the Tennessee Implied Consent Advisement. You guys will see a copy of the form that she signs, agreeing to give a sample of her blood. Y'all will hear, in addition to hearing from Major Christian, who's a crash reconstruction expert, you guys will hear from Special Agent Forensic Scientist April Bramlage of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, who tested that blood sample for the presence of ethyl alcohol. You will hear from her that the BAC of the sample that was drawn at 10:48 p.m. from Haley Brown is 0.161 BAC. This is at this point 2 hours and 48 minutes almost after the collision with the power pole. You guys will hear testimony from Special Agent Forensic Scientist Melinda Quinn, also of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, that there was also active THC intoxicant in that blood. Now, in addition to that, you guys are going to hear from a medical examiner. In fact, you'll hear from the medical examiner, Dr. William McLean, a little bit out of order. Before you hear a lot of the proof that I just described to y'all, you guys are going to hear from the medical examiner that Jason Lee Brown died as a result of the blunt force trauma that you will ultimately get the evidence resulted from that collision, and that was, in fact, the cause of Mr. Brown's death. After you hear all of this evidence, the state of Tennessee is going to ask you to find Ms. Brown guilty of the crime of vehicular homicide by intoxication, vehicular homicide by reckless conduct for that 60-mile-an-hour speed that you guys are going to hear about on a low-speed road in the middle of the city of Dixon, and driving under the influence for operating a vehicle with a BAC in excess of 0.08 gram percent. Appreciate your time and attention. Thank you very much.
This is in Dixon City, Dixon County, Tennessee. This occurred.
Good afternoon.
Y'all, we got 8 of them. We got 8 y'alls in the prosecution open.
On October 3rd, 2020, Miss Haley Brown and her fiance, Jason Brown, left Waverly to come here to Dixon to eat Miss Sanders Pizza. And you'll hear this in the proof. They ate pizza. Admittedly, they had a beer. After that, they go to the Oktoberfest at downtown Dixon at Main Street. Sometime shortly before they left, you will hear a witness who's familiar with Miss Brown as well as Mr. Brown identify Mr. Brown as too intoxicated to drive. That witness will further testify that Ms. Brown showed no signs of impairment and that she was completely comfortable with Ms. Brown driving. You will hear testimony that shortly thereafter there was a wreck. And then you'll see the body camera footage. Ms. Brown is frantic, panicked, and distraught at the loss of her fiance. You will see and you will hear from the proof that her emotional state was exacerbated by medical personnel on scene and later by the Dixon Police Department at the hospital, making it almost entirely possible, we would submit, to tell anything about what her emotional state was or what the causation of that emotional state was. The investigation as to Ms. Brown's intoxication or lack thereof is wrought with problems. In fact, you'll hear testimony from the Dixon Police Department using some colorful language about their own investigation, and we'll get to that later. It's a sad situation that we're here today. It's a very sad situation. But when you hear the proof, we submit that you'll be unable to determine that Ms. Brown caused the wreck and caused the death, or that she was intoxicated or impaired when that happened, or that she acted recklessly. Thank you.
Those are bold statements.
All right, Mr. Arnold, you may call your first witness.
Your Honor, the state of Tennessee calls Brianna Brown to the stand.
Her name is Brianna, not Brianna. Work together, not against each other. That thing's heavy, that heavenly wood. It's not going to move itself, though. Lift with your knees, not with your back. I don't know her age. I think she's young.
I swear from the testimony given in this case, be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
If you would please, and speaking into the mic, tell us your name and spell it for our court reporter.
Brianna Brown, Breanna Brown.
And who is Jason Lee Brown to you?
My dad.
Okay. I'm going to pass up a photograph, and I want you to tell me if this is a true representation of him as he was alive. Is that a good representation of your dad?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, I'd like to submit this as the state's first exhibit.
All right, the live photo will be exhibited as Exhibit 1.
That's all from me. Mr. Spratt might have some questions.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. You may step down. You may have a seat in the courtroom if you'd like, or you may leave. Mr. Arnold, do you want to demonstrate that photograph to the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
And she walks out the back of the courtroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, the state legislature has passed a law that allows the introduction of a single life photograph to demonstrate what the individual who was killed in the situation appeared to be during his lifetime. So that's the purpose of this photograph.
We don't know what the age of the daughter is. We may find out more ages of the deceased and the accused.
All right, Mr. Arnold, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state's next witness is appearing by Zoom. It is Dr. William McLean, medical examiner.
So we jump straight to the Emmy.
Proceeding.
This is normally not the first witness, so it's rare that this happens this way. They were both intoxicated. They had been out. They had a drink at dinner, and then they went to Oktoberfest, which I believe also celebrates with a little bit of alcohol.
I don't know if you have access to him, but there he is. We are ready now.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. McLean. If you could please raise your right hand, let me place you under oath. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this case to be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Good afternoon, Dr. McLean.
Good afternoon.
Dr. McLean, if you would please tell the jury who you are and what you do, and spell your last name for the court reporter.
Sure, my name is William McLean. That's McClain. And I am a forensic pathologist and medical examiner. I perform autopsies on individuals in order to determine their cause of death.
And how long have you been a medical examiner for Davidson County in Tennessee?
About 3.5 years.
And where were you employed prior to that?
Bexar County, Texas. That's where San Antonio is.
Judge Boyd's area.
And how many years were you there?
5 years.
And I've got a copy here of your CV. If you would please run us through the high points of your education and experience.
Well, if you know anything about the University of Texas, we know how to have fun. So my undergrad years were all a blur. Oh, sorry. Is the mic on? I'll let him speak.
Sure. I obtained my Bachelor of Science in Biology with an emphasis in forensics from the University of Texas in Arlington. And then I attended medical school at the University of Texas Health Science Center in Houston, where I got my medical degree. I completed an anatomic and clinical pathology residency at the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio, did a 1-year fellowship in forensic pathology at the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office, also in San Antonio. And I am board certified in anatomic pathology, clinical pathology, and forensic pathology.
And have you ever been certified as an expert in forensic pathology for the purpose of testifying?
Yes, sir.
And have you been certified as an expert in both Tennessee and Texas?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would like to submit Dr. McLean's CV as the state's next exhibit.
Mark it as Exhibit 2.
And I would like to proffer him as an expert in forensic pathology.
Any questions, Mr. Spratt?
No questions, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. McLean will be certified as an expert in the field of forensic pathology.
And did you have an opportunity to perform the medical examination autopsy report for decedent Jason Lee Brown?
I did.
October 5th, 2020?
Yes, October 5th, 2020. Yes, sir.
Now, what was the cause of Mr. Brown's death?
Blunt force injuries.
And, Your Honor, I've got a copy of the medical examination report in this case. If I could submit that as the state's next exhibit.
All right.
If all trials were run as fast as this one runs, we would not have a backlog in the system nationwide.
And in your professional opinion, were those injuries consistent with injuries one would sustain in a motor vehicle collision?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sure Mr. Baker might have some questions for you.
That was the medical examiner. Done.
Mr. Baker?
Dr. McLean, would you characterize those as consistent blunt force trauma consistent with an unrestrained passenger?
That means no seatbelts.
But these kinds of injuries could be seen with someone who is unrestrained, yes.
All right. And if you could take me through what's remarkable about if someone was unrestrained, what type of injuries would present in this case, specific to Mr. Brown?
Well, when someone is restrained or unrestrained, if I recall correctly from the scene photographs, the significant intrusion that the impact had on the passenger door, these injuries would be consistent with. There's nothing specific about these injuries that say that he must have been unrestrained, given that significant intrusion into the passenger cavity where I understand he was seated.
Okay. And the manner of death, what did you determine the manner of death to be?
Accident.
Accident. And you may not be able to answer this question, but had Mr. Brown been restrained, would the outcome of his injuries, could they have been different?
I don't believe so. No, sir.
Don't think so? All right. Can you describe what the fatal trauma to Mr. Brown was?
Well, I wouldn't, just reviewing here, I know that he's got significant injuries across the head that have created what I describe as eggshell type fractures of the skull. And I think that description vividly captures the appearance of his injuries. His brain was therefore lacerated significantly. So that is a blatantly obvious example of a significant injury. And then in the trunk, from the neck to the pelvis, he's got rib fractures that have injured his lungs, and that would create pneumothoraces and hemothoraces that would prevent him from being able to breathe, though, and those certainly would be fatal injuries, but they would take more time to become fatal than the injuries to the skull and brain.
All right. And would those injuries be consistent with being unrestrained and going into the dash or the windshield?
They would be consistent with that, yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Redirect.
Did you find anything in your examination that would have killed Mr. Brown had he not suffered a motor vehicle collision?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Great redirect. They do allow recross on this.
In the toxicology, what was the effect of the toxicology, the alcohol in this system?
Well, I see that he's got what is generally considered to be an elevated concentration of alcohol in his system. There are generally well-established characteristics that people display at different concentrations. Each person, of course, has different levels of tolerance, so I'm not 100% familiar with Mr. Brown's drinking habit, but as a generalization, at 0.258 grams of ethanol per 100 milliliters of blood, Mr. Brown would be expected to exhibit signs of intoxication, lucid behaviors, less inhibited behaviors, lack of coordination, poor decision making, slow reaction time, those kinds of things.
You can also be vomiting. Is that correct?
Yeah, again, generally speaking, when people are drunk, they're more likely to vomit. I'm not sure how well Mr. Brown handles his alcohol, so to speak, but.
Well, let us say the motor function is impaired at 258. Is that a fair statement?
For most people, some people who are raging alcoholics and have been doing it for years can tolerate that, but for most people at that concentration, they would be exhibiting clear signs that they are intoxicated.
And some people, let's say hypothetically, at a 0.16 may show no signs of intoxication, correct?
That's right.
All right. No further questions.
Mr. Arnold?
Judge, those are the state's questions for this witness.
So Emmy is
Dr.
done.
McLean, thank you for joining us. I'm going to ask you one question of my own. Having all your time in San Antonio, do you remember what March the 6th, 1836 represents?
I sure do.
You probably would, so.
Thanks for the help from the Tennesseans.
Yeah, well, when I first came back from Texas Law School and went to, sent a copy of a case where one of our judges said that if it weren't for this great state of Tennessee, Texas would still be a Mexican province. So
that's right.
All right. Thank you for your attendance. We're going to release you from further participation.
He is referring to the Alamo. Remember the Alamo.
Mr. Arnold, you may call your next witness.
So the victim that passed
Your
away
Honor, the state of Tennessee calls Jeremy Holland to the stand.
had .25.
He's out in the front.
0.258, 3 times over the legal limit, basically. And the driver, the defendant in the case, was more than double over the limit. So the driver was intoxicated as well as the passenger.
You would stand right here, turn face the court, raise your right hand.
This chair doesn't even get a chance to warm up. They were so
Swear
quick.
testimony given in this case be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
How's it going this afternoon, Mr. Holland?
It's going good.
Okay. If you would, please tell us your name and spell it for the court reporter.
It is Jeremy Holland, Jeremy Holland.
Tell us what happened on October 3rd, 2020 that brings you into court today.
Well, I was in my backyard hanging out with the family, and I heard a car, like the brakes swell, and then an impact, and then like 2 more impacts. So I got in the truck and drove up there to see what was going on, and there was a car in the middle of the road, pretty tore up, and a couple there checking on the people from like another vehicle, and I walked up to the passenger side, and the guy was slumped over, bleeding pretty bad.
And was he in any way responsive?
No.
And did you have occasion to see whether or not there was another occupant to the vehicle?
There was, I believe, a lady driving. I didn't talk to her or anything like that.
And do you remember about what time this was?
I do not. I know it was in the mid-afternoons. I'm not sure what time.
Could it have been just before 8?
Could have.
Mid-afternoon, just before 8.
And do you know what street it was on?
Yeah, that would have been West Walnut Street. Or Walnut Street.
Mr. Spratt might have some questions for you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Hall. Afternoon. You said you heard tires screeching and then you heard 2 to 3 impacts.
Yeah, there was like one, then there was a brief pause, and then another. It was almost like somebody hit a car and it hit another car or something like that.
So these were booms.
Yeah, they were pretty good, but.
And do you recall, was this, you said mid-afternoon, was it nighttime or was it daytime?
It was kind of later afternoon, almost night. I don't think it was real late. Okay, so I can't recall exactly what time.
But you're sure you heard those impacts?
Yes, that's the whole reason I went up there.
Okay. And you heard the tires screeching first and then the
impacts? Yeah, I thought somebody had pulled out in front of somebody or something there at the street.
You thought something may have run out in front of somebody?
Yeah.
And you didn't interact with the driver or the female? Okay. Those are my questions.
Mr. Arnold?
Nothing further for this witness, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. You may step down and you're released from your subpoena if you'd like to go about your business.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next witness.
Your Honor, the state of Tennessee calls Christy Parchment to the stand.
Hey, True North.
solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this case be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
How are you doing this afternoon, Ms. Parchment?
I'm great, thank you.
If you could please tell us your name and spell it for the court reporter.
Christy Parchment, Kristy Parchment.
And if you would please tell us what happened October 3rd, 2020 that brings you into court today.
I had gotten something to eat and was headed back home. Coming down Walnut Street around the curve, I noticed that there was a vehicle that had just had a wreck. And there wasn't any law enforcement or fire there yet. So there were some civilians there. So I stopped to see if there was anything that I could help with. I walked around the passenger side of the vehicle and noticed, I looked to see if there's anybody in the back, and of course there wasn't. And I looked in the front passenger seat, and there was a male slumped over the center console. I tried to, see if he was okay. I said, "Sir, are you okay? Or can you hear me?" I'm not exactly sure. I don't really remember what I said, but he appeared to be deceased. So I walked around the front of the vehicle and to the driver's side, and Miss Haley Brown was already outside of the vehicle. And there was another lady standing there with her. So I approached her and asked her if she was okay, and asked her name, and she told me her name. And then by this time, fire had arrived. And so we kind of walked over to the side of the road in a grassy area by the fence. And she sat down, and I kind of squatted down in front of her, was just talking to her, trying to get some information to see if she was okay. If she didn't appear to be hurt, but that didn't, physically, visually, she didn't appear to be hurt, but I didn't know if she knew where she was or anything like that. So I asked her, her name, or not her name, but how old she was. And she told me that, but I don't remember that, of course. She told me where she worked. And then, she started screaming, "Did I kill him? Did I kill him?" And she was like pulling out the grass beside her. And I tried to calm her down. I kind of grabbed both of her arms and was just kind of like rubbing them to see, to try to calm her down. I said, "I don't know." I said, "But let's talk and let them worry about trying to help him at this moment," because she was screaming. So she calmed down and she told me, she said, "I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person." And we just had a conversation. I can't remember everything that we said, and then not long after that, one of the officers had said, "Can we move y'all down out of going towards, the ambulances?" I think another one had arrived, so she was able to get with them. And when we walked down and they started talking to her, I went over to Officer Deloach and told him, I said, "I think she may have been drinking, or someone may have been drinking, because I smelled alcohol when I was talking to her." There was also another lady standing here beside us when we were sitting down over there, or when she was sitting there. So I said, you may want to check her to make sure.
Thank you very much. Mr. Spratt might have some questions for you.
One narrative answer, and that's it.
My name is Parchment. So you didn't hear anything. You just stopped and came up on the wreck, right?
Yes.
All right. And you saw Miss Brown outside the vehicle there.
Yes.
And then you spoke with her. She gave you her name. She gave you her age.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And you said she was sitting in the grass, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said she was pulling at grass.
Yes.
In desperation, sort of like pulling at the grass, like looking for something.
You could tell
to
she
hold
was
on to.
upset. There was some, you could tell she was upset.
Okay.
So.
And do you have any medical training at all?
I have had in the past, but.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. But you, she was asking you if she killed him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you thought the best course of action was to change the subject, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's not my responsibility to
Right.
tell her what's going on with him.
But as somebody that had, whether you had medical training or not, you just thought it was best to change the subject, right?
Yes.
To try to keep her as calm as possible?
Yes.
Okay. And you said someone may have been drinking, you're not sure who it was?
I smelled alcohol when she was squatted down in front of me. There was another lady standing here, so I wasn't sure who it was coming from because they were both quite close to me. So I just mentioned it to the officer.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Judge, those are the state's questions.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. You are released from your subpoena. You may stay or may go as you choose. Mr. Arnold, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, thank you. The state of Tennessee calls Melissa Phillips to the stand.
Melissa Phillips.
Yeah, we've had no objections, and we have heard hearsay. We've had, I would say, there's room for objections here, but we have not heard any yet.
Go stand right here, turn face the clerk, raise your right hand, please.
He's not to swear or affirm testimony given in this case be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Good afternoon, Ms. Phillips. If you would, please tell us your name and spell it for the court reporter.
Melissa Phillips, Melissa Phillips.
And if you would, please tell us what happened the night of October 3rd, 2020 that brings you into court today.
I didn't see the accident itself. I just heard it. I was the first one there. I tried to help, but both of them, but I couldn't. Sorry. When I got there, I was on Freeman Avenue, which was on the next street over. And I heard them coming up the road. I heard 2 initial impacts, and I saw the headlights spin. I got there, Haley was on him, went over him, trying to wake him up. And I tried to help him, but he had no pulse. At that point, I just tried to help him because I couldn't tell her. I was just trying to calm her down.
Do you remember about what time this was?
About 8, 9 o'clock at night. I just had a baby on September 28th, and we were just released from the hospital. And I was actually taking her over to see her grandparents.
Is there anything else that you remember from that night about anything anybody said or did?
No, it was what it was, and I just.
But about how long was it before other folks started to get there?
It was probably about 5 minutes after. Like I said, I pulled her out of the car. I just wanted to try and get her name and stuff because I didn't know if she was hurt too. It took quite a while for the paramedics and stuff to get there.
Thank you very much. Mr. Spratt might have a couple questions.
Mr. Spratt.
Ms. Phillips. You gave a written statement in this case, didn't you? Okay. And you said that you heard 2 impacts.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you can, let me know about how close were you when you heard those?
Walnut Street is like this, and when you're coming up Walnut, there's a bend right there. I was on Freeman Avenue, which would have been that street right there. And like I said, it was at nighttime, so you could hear everything. I heard them coming up the road, and I heard the first impact, because like I said, it's a little bit of a curve right there. Heard the first impact, and then second impact was a little bit harder. The transformer obviously blew, and you could see the headlights. At first, I thought that they had rolled because the headlights were spinning, but it was just from the car spinning.
Going in a circle?
Yes, sir.
And you said you were trying to help Miss Brown, correct?
Yeah, I went over to him first because.
Sure.
But then she had blood on her, so I was trying to help her as well.
And you said you couldn't tell her about him. You were trying to calm her down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you made the decision that it would be unwise to tell her about that, right? Okay. Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. Arnold?
No, Judge, those are the state's
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Ms. Phillips, you're free to go if you'd like, or you may stay and watch. Mr. Arnold, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state of Tennessee calls Dixon Police Department, I believe Sergeant now, Eric Chandler to the stand. Eric Chandler.
He's not sure if he's a sergeant or a lieutenant. He probably got the rank wrong. Let's see.
And Judge, this witness will have some body camera footage that will be playing. I don't know if it will be all right with Your Honor for me to play from.
So just to warn you, this body camera footage does show unredacted images from the car accident. I watched it very briefly. It shows where the decedent is. I was not able to discern what was there.
Yes, ma'am.
How's it going this afternoon, Sergeant Chandler?
Doing good, sir.
Now, before I start playing your body camera footage, I'm going to ask you some initial stuff. If you would, please tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Eric Chandler. I'm a sergeant with the Dixon Police Department.
And how long have you been with the Dixon Police Department?
Since 2013.
And were you with the Dixon Police Department October 3rd, 2020?
Yes, sir.
If you would, please tell us what happened on that day that brings you into court today.
I was dispatched to a traffic crash with injuries.
And where was that crash?
West Walnut, and I believe they dispatched us to Freeman Avenue, right in that area.
And that's one street over, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
What time were you dispatched?
It was around 9 o'clock-ish, I think.
Are you sure though?
I'm not, no.
Are you sure?
Would it
100% positive.
Would it refresh your recollection if I showed you the Dixon Police Department report from that night?
Yes, sir.
Love these accents. I love these people in Tennessee. Apparently time is a construct for them. Clocks are not so important.
I think you might almost have to look at the second page from the narrative section. And I understand that's not your report. That's, I believe that's Sergeant Summerhour's report.
Yes, sir.
So he's refreshing his recollection from someone else's report?
It says 2,000 hours.
Judge, I'd check to the hearsay and refresh his memory with it, but if it's somebody else authored it.
I'm sorry, you're objecting?
To the hearsay. It's not his report. It's just to refresh his memory.
it's not his report, I don't believe it'd be admissible, but is he using it to refresh his recollection?
I just wanted him to look at it to refresh his memory, Judge, not to read from it or to introduce it.
Overall, this is just for the purposes of refreshing his recollections.
2,000 hours, sir.
Is that 8 o'clock in regular person time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. I'll take that back.
Okay, make sure you're listening for those yells. They'll sneak them in when you're least expecting it.
Now, if you would, tell us what you found when you got there.
There was a wrecked vehicle. One of the other officers was trying to gain entry to the vehicle on the passenger side. We were not able to because of the wreckage. The fire department then got on scene and was able to get into the vehicle. There was also several people there, witnesses, and there was a female that was yelling over behind where I was at the crash vehicle, who we later identified was the driver of the vehicle.
Okay. Now, are you equipped with what's sometimes called a body-worn camera?
Yes, sir.
And was your camera recording that night?
Yes, sir.
And would you recognize footage from that camera if I was to show it to you?
Yes, sir.
Now let's see whether or not I can successfully show it to you.
Okay.
You know, I haven't seen much further than this, but the pause game on this guy's computer is on point. So we will be seeing the footage there. Oops. I'll get out of the way.
That's not the footage. Hold on.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Guys, hang on. The footage was there a second ago. Okay, here we go. We're going to back up just a second so you get the funny part. Okay, we get to see his kids. There we go.
That's not the footage. Hold on.
Trying to make sure I don't cover it up here. Okay, just content warning. This is that's enough to recognize
Does this
it, right?
appear to be your body camera footage from that night?
I believe so.
It's either just after noon or just after 9 or somewhere in that time.
You got Christian online, advise him I need him to respond out here for this accident. Possible fatal. Central, I got tag along. Tennessee Young 1699 boy. Hi guys. Let's go. Let's get ready.
Just the driver.
Okay.
She's very distraught.
Yeah.
Very.
Did somebody hit her or what?
I don't know. I just
Okay.
get it out here.
Hey, we're trying to get another ambulance in there out. Yeah.
Jason, please help me.
Let's go this way.
Please talk to my mom.
Hold on in just a second.
Please talk to my mom. Please talk to my mom. Talk to my mom. Talk to my mom. Talk to her.
Talk to her. Right. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Talk to my mom.
You will.
Talk to my mom.
What's going on?
Talk to my mom.
You need to calm down. You need to calm down.
Please talk to my mom.
Hey, this is driver. I don't know. She's very combative with me.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Please talk to my mom. Please talk to my mom.
Yes.
Mama. Randy, not kill Jason. Please. I'm in Please talk to him, yes. That's my stepdad. I'm fine. No. I'm fine. I'm 28 years old. I just turned 28 on September the 6th, 2019, down to 22. I turned 19 years old. Please talk to my mama. Please talk to my stepdad.
I don't have anything to tell them right now, okay?
Please.
All right, just kind of watch it. I don't have to police with you.
I'm in Dixon.
Okay, yeah.
I'm in Dixon. No. Where am I at?
Dixon, Tennessee.
I'm in Dixon, Tennessee. Where am I at?
You're on West Walnut Street.
I'm west on Walnut Street.
You got anything to drink tonight?
I've had something to drink, yes sir.
Okay.
Yes sir, I've had something to drink.
Okay.
Am I going to the hospital?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're probably going to be going to the
I'm
hospital.
going, he said, yes sir, I'm probably going to the hospital. Yes sir. Which one? Horizon.
Yeah. We got to get another ambulance out here to check on you.
He's got another ambulance out the way. I'm so sorry. I've never meant to do this to y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Mama, I'm so sorry. Mama, I never meant to do this.
We need to get you off the phone, okay? They need to check you out,
Okay,
alright?
Mama, I gotta go, okay? They can't check me, okay? I love you. I promise I won't move, but I don't know if Jason's okay, okay? Okay, I love you. I pray to the Lord, I love you.
I just want to check you out, okay? They're dealing with him right now, okay?
It's okay.
I haven't been up there where they're at.
That's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to know.
I just want you to sit right here, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
120, he is direct.
Please, he's okay. Please tell me that he's okay. His name is Jason Brown.
Hey, I need them to leave him. I got Red's on the way. Okay, Red's on the way. Okay, as we said, we don't have to leave everything in. Yeah. Just if you'll handle that for me, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, alright.
Yes, sir. I'm the driver.
Do you have any chance there? No. Yeah, we're taking She's he's the DUI. Yeah. She's been
Hey, they called him DOA, which means beyond resuscitation at this point. Dead on arrival.
Yeah. 46 should be around this area. Yeah, where you're looking for 42.
Is that an accurate representation of the first several minutes that you were on the scene?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you would please run us through some of the stuff that y'all, had to do on the scene as part of the investigation.
So from the get-go right there, after we identified who the driver was, we want to get her medical attention. I'm also having to get our captain at the time, Todd Christian, en route because he is a crash reconstructionist. Anytime we have a possible or fatal crash, we always contact them and have our reconstructionist en route to look at the crash and what happened. So I'm trying to coordinate that, and obviously we still have calls for service that are coming in too as well.
Gotcha. And did you also speak to numerous fire and medical on the scene?
Yes, sir. We're coordinating with them not once they got to the point where they said he was deceased, I told them not to touch anything because at that point it's become a crime scene.
Now, did you guys also collect statements from numerous people on the scene?
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if you can remember off the top of your head, but were some of those people coming in and out of the courtroom before you got here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to pause just for a second to clarify what's happened here. The defendant is sitting in the middle of her two attorneys. That is Miss Haley Brown. She is charged with vehicular manslaughter and DUI as well. I think there are 3 charges total. But she's charged in the death of Jason Lee Brown, who was her husband because they shared the last name, but she referred to him as fiance. At a later point in the body camera video, she says she was talking to her mom on the phone, and then also says it was her stepdad that was on the phone. So a lot of family names have been tossed around, but basically the driver was the woman. The passenger was her either husband or fiance. They shared the same last name. I'm not sure if that happened before or after they got married. Stranger things happen. But she refers to him as the fiance, but I believe it was husband. So that's where we are, and this officer who's testifying right now was the one who got the body camera footage, one of the officers who responded on the scene.
Now, within moments of where we brought the video to here, does Officer Reprogel come?
Yes.
And while you're doing all the things you described, did she pretty much stay with Miss Brown that evening?
Yes, sir.
Was that a y'all there? I have to back that up. Hang on.
Did she, and while you're doing all the things you described, did she pretty much stay with Miss Brown that evening?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to skip a little further on and play some more.
Okay.
I believe the next bit is going to be you touching base with Sergeant Summerhour, who's also working on the case, I'm pretty sure.
We're not going to watch the entire thing. I think he only takes excerpts from this. At least that's what he said.
Drinks is what she said.
Did she specify what drinks? Say with alcoholic drinks?
All I remember, she said she had 3 drinks because Jerry.
Now, do you recall what Sergeant Summerhour was working on when he called you to ask you questions from the scene?
A search warrant for blood.
she went from that to screaming at me. That's how she was riding the highs and the lows. And she was on the phone with her mama too. I guess it was her mama.
This guy's name is Jason Brown, is that right?
Mm-hmm. And I just go and tell you, I can smell the alcohol on her.
Okay, that's what I needed to hear.
Yep, I can smell the alcohol on her.
Because I was in the back of the ambulance, and I didn't smell anything, so.
Hey, I can smell the alcohol on her. She's got bloodshot eyes. She had slurred
I never
speech.
made it in front of her, so I couldn't see her.
She's got slurred speech. She's got all the indicators that you're looking for.
Okay. I'm trying to work on this search warrant. I'm fixing to do 2 search warrants.
Okay. You gotta get the hospital's blood too?
Probably. Alright, so we told Sergeant Chandler she had 3 drinks where she and her boyfriend were attending Oktoberfest.
She didn't tell me that. She told fire personnel about the Oktoberfest. They just told me that.
Alright. And you could smell the alcohol?
Mm-hmm.
You could smell it coming from her breath.
Mm-hmm.
She had bloodshot eyes. What else?
Bloodshot watery eyes.
Bloodshot watery eyes.
And she was slurring her speech.
The officer's helping the gentleman back at the office write the search warrant for a blood draw, I think.
Do y'all's body cameras split up about an hour at a time when they record?
Yes. It overlaps.
Well, so and before I continue to play it, so what is your training and experience on DUI enforcement?
I mean, just my experience, my years of service, we were trained on it at the police academy.
And are there certain telltale signs that you guys look for, generally speaking?
Yes, sir.
When you're interacting with someone?
I got the y'all from 3 questions.
And the things you described to Sergeant Summerour, if you'll run us through those and explain, sort of what they are. And
so he asked if I could smell it on her breath, which I could whenever she was up close, whenever at the part of the video where she grabbed a hold of my traffic vest. We got pretty close and you could smell it on her. And then, of course, just looking in her eyes, you could tell they were watery, bloodshot as we were interacting. And then while she was on the phone with who she said was her mother, I never confirmed who she was on the phone with. She was slurring her speech. That's what I saw, observed.
Okay. And that's based on your training and experience?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to play the rest of the bit of it here.
Yes, sir.
suffice it to say, does your conversation with Sergeant Summerhour go on a little bit longer?
Yes, sir.
As you recall? Yes, sir. And did you try to give him all the information that you had at the time?
Yes, sir.
All right, Your Honor, I would like to submit the video recording the Chandler's body camera footage as the state's next exhibit.
Exhibit,
Four. Yes, sir.
And once Officer Reprogel got to the scene, as I asked, did she pretty much take point on the defendant and then you handled a lot of the rest of the stuff?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did that include making out tow reports and inventories and all that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
In fact, is that what you were filling out when you were also talking to Sergeant Summerhour?
Yes, sir. That's the Dixon Police Department's tow form.
Okay. And y'all ultimately, where did you guys tow the defendant's vehicle to?
I think it was Christie's Towing, if I'm right.
Okay.
I'd have to go back to my tow form.
All right.
That was 2020, and it's been a little bit.
Fair. But did y'all more or less take it into custody for other officers to examine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you guys seal it up with evidence tape and all that? Or were you not the one that did that?
I don't think I was the one that did that. I don't recall that.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Mr. Spratt's going to have some questions.
Yes, sir.
Those two came quickly. I missed them. I've spelled y'all wrong on the y'all counter. I'll fix it.
If you know me well enough, if you're going to say something you want me to hear, you're going to have to quit mumbling. Say it loudly. What are you asking?
I'm asking if there's an outlet for the laptop here.
Yes. You're probably talking to the wrong person anyway. Officer Howell's in charge of our technology right now. So.
The tech guy.
That's correct. Then I won't change it. I won't change it then.
Good afternoon, Sergeant Chandler.
Hello.
So you interacted with Miss Brown on the scene, correct?
Yes,
for a brief amount of time, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you go and you're starting to try to secure the presence of Sergeant Christian, right?
Captain Christian, yes, sir.
It's
Major now, but Captain.
Major Christian. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Anyway, Officer Christian. Okay. And Officer Summerhour, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you interacted with Haley Brown for about 2 minutes, right? At the first of that video?
Roughly, yeah, sure.
Okay.
However long the video says.
Okay. And then you had no further direct interaction with her again until
later on that night, way later on that night, yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So at 8:05, and correct me if I'm wrong here, and we can play this back, but you asked her, have you had anything to drink tonight? She said, yes, sir, I've had something to drink, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. She didn't specify whether it was alcohol or not, did she?
No, sir.
Okay. And then do you recall around 8:08, you tell
Beachfront Avenue,
Officer DeLoach that she's admitted to you that she was drinking?
Yes, sir.
Okay. She hadn't specified that, had she? No? Yes or no?
She said she'd been drinking, yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. And then by 8:26, you tell Officer DeLoach, she admitted to me I've had a couple of drinks, right?
I believe I said that, yes, sir.
Okay. And she hadn't said that, had she?
No, sir.
Okay.
Got it misconfused in the chaos.
Okay. Well, and that was at 8:26. Fair enough? You believe it if it was
whatever's on the video,
okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So at 8:30, you tell Officer Summerhour she's admitted to me that she's had at least 3 drinks. That's 4 minutes later.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how much chaos in 4 minutes? It went from admitted to drinking but didn't specify. Then she'd had a couple of drinks. Then 4 minutes later, it's 3 drinks.
Well, I also referred to him too that I got some information from the fire department too.
Okay.
That I said right after that.
Okay. So if I played that whole video, I'd find that on there where you got information from somewhere else.
Yes, sir. You
I
should
would.
see where I talked to the fire department. Yes, sir.
You sure about that?
It should be on the video if it's there.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think they ever recalled a number.
Well, that's what I'm asking about. Because you got from the fire department that they had been at Oktoberfest and that Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown and Miss Brown had been into a fight, right?
Yes, sir.
Right prior to leaving because some guy was hitting on her, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you didn't get anything from them about numbers of drinks or alcohol or anything like that, did you?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. And this phone call, I'm at 8:30 when we're at 3 drinks, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. The phone call that we just showed where you're calling Officer Summerhour, he's back at the Dixon Police Department trying to get a search warrant, right?
Yes, sir.
And he told you he couldn't smell any alcohol on her, didn't he?
Yes, sir, he did.
All right. And so you are the sole probable cause determination as to whether or not she was drinking, correct? On the scene, you were the sole probable cause determination, right?
Well, he was, yes, sir.
Okay. And at best, your probable cause determination by 8:30 is false. At best, whether chaos or not, it's still not correct, is it?
I think it is, but
well, you don't. So you think it's correct for you to just add numbers of drinks that she didn't say that she had, and you said she admitted? You think it's correct to make up stuff that she said?
There was the rest of what also that you're missing there, the slurred speech.
Okay, well, let's talk about the slurred speech. You don't mention that until 9 o'clock whenever you're talking to Sergeant Summerhour or the bloodshot. You don't mention any of that until you're on the phone with him trying to get a search warrant.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's fair to say then that you're just trying to make a probable cause determination because you heard Sergeant Summerhour when you said he asked you, was the blood coming from her breath, didn't he? Sergeant Summerhour, or Officer Summerhour asked you that, didn't he?
Was the blood coming?
I'm sorry, was the smell coming from her breath?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said yes, and he said what? That's what I wanted to hear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you hadn't mentioned anything about any of this yet until you get on the phone with him some hour, at least an hour, maybe more after this crash, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In fact, the only information you had prior to that was Major Christian telling you that you could get a search warrant if you said you could smell it. Right?
I'm not. Well, could you repeat that?
You knew that if you said that you smelled that alcohol, that you could get that search warrant, didn't you?
Well, because I could smell the alcohol.
Okay. But you hadn't said anything about bloodshot eyes or anything like that until 9 o'clock, an hour later, had you?
No, sir.
Okay. And the watery eyes, you do realize that her fiance just died, right?
Yes, sir.
So would you not expect somebody to have watery eyes when that happened to them?
Yes, sir.
And the slurred speech, you have no idea whether or not that's because she was upset because her fiance had just died, do you? Can't say that, can you?
Yes, sir.
No, you can't?
No, yeah, no.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to make sure we were, okay.
Yes, sir. No, you can't. No,
so, and you called her combative at one point. She was reaching out and grabbing anything she could grab, wasn't she?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you characterized her as combative.
Well, yes, sir. She grabbed a hold of my traffic vest and I had to get her off of me.
Okay. You threatened by her?
No, sir.
Okay. So she was just reaching, she reached and grabbed a hold of the EMS personnel that was right there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And she was grabbing grass and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you, so you then provided admittedly at best incorrect information to get this search warrant, right?
The only thing that was incorrect was the drinks, the amount of drinks.
That's kind of important, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Kinda.
Did you provide the number of drinks? Do you know who did the crash report, the electronic crash report?
I believe Major Christian did.
You believe Major Christian did? Did you provide him with the number of drinks that went in that report?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
No, sir.
Okay.
I don't know if I did.
But
or
if you
Sergeant
did and it
Sumner
jumped up
did.
to 4, that'd be yet another just mistake.
Well, I know he done a little bit further investigating than I did. That went into his report.
But he didn't interact with Miss Brown, did he?
Not on the scene that night. No, sir.
Okay. All right. And she gave you her name and age and everything like that when you talked to her there at the first?
Yes, sir. There was a little discrepancy on the age because she said that she was 19. It's on the.
Well, I'm going to replay that for you, and I want you to show me where she's slurring at.
You got anything to drink tonight?
I've had something to drink, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, I've had something to drink.
Not during that portion.
Okay. But she seemed like she was having a hard time breathing, maybe even hyperventilating?
Yes, sir. That's why we were getting her medical attention to get her looked at.
Okay. And you don't have a clue what could have been causing her to do anything at that point, right? I'm going to play some more for you here later on, just to track where this went.
She told me she asked her, I said, you have any drink like? She said, I had a couple of drinks. Of course, what we figured out from when fire was on there, they left Oktoberfest and they were getting into it.
So she didn't just say it nonchalantly, I've had a couple of drinks, did she?
No, sir.
Okay. Now that was 8:26. We started at 8:05. Play you one more.
Right, to the hospital, just to be on the safe side. There's nothing physically wrong with it. Probably. I don't know what y'all want to do. Yeah, the guy that's going to deal with that just pulled up, so I'm fixing to get him over here. The last thing that we want to do is sedator, because that's going to mess up your case. Yeah, absolutely. Right, so I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let me go, this is the man right here that's fixing to deal with that portion of it, so. So Red is fixing to give you the DUI portion of this.
He's fixing to do what?
I think you're fixing to get the DUI portion of this.
Okay.
She's admitted to me that she's had 3 drinks.
Okay.
I guess she was kind of telling them in there they've left Oktoberfest up here. They were arguing because some dude hit on her and then boom. They hit this, she's killed boyfriend. Yeah. So, and you can smell alcohol on her. Now, here's the thing. If we're getting blood, we need to hurry up and do it because she's going wild back there. So
We don't want to sedate her?
We'll stop that real quick there. She was going wild, right? You said.
Yes.
Do you know of anything that happened to her to make her go wild? Were you around when that happened?
No, sir.
Okay.
Unless we have to, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to mess up anything.
Well,
there's not a question of if we're getting the blood.
I know,
It's a matter of
I know,
where
right.
somebody's been hurt, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to get blood. So
That's what we're doing with right now.
I'm going to stop again, and I apologize for stopping and starting, but I'm noticing some things there. You told Officer Sumright it was important to get blood right then, right?
Yes, sir.
Why would you say that?
Because they were talking about having to sedate her.
Okay. Well, would it also be fair to say that getting blood right there would be the best indicator of what somebody's blood alcohol level was when they were driving?
Well, yes, sir.
Okay. And they were talking about having to sedate her because she was upset?
Yes, sir.
That's not an option. And she's incriminating herself the more she's sitting in there yelling. All right. Hey.
And so the last statement you made is she's incriminating herself. Nobody advised her of her rights, did they?
No, sir.
Okay. So just to sum this up, we've embellished probable cause. You're the sole probable cause, and she hadn't been given her rights, period, at all. And you're telling Officer Summerer what he wants to hear. Is that fair?
That's your take on it.
Well, is it fair? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor.
I'll tenure the witness, Judge.
Arnold, you may redirect.
From 8 o'clock to 9:06 is an hour and 6 minutes, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That whole time, are you getting information from all kinds of different people on the scene?
Yes, sir.
Did she smell like booze?
Yes, sir.
Like enough that you even remember it now?
Yes, sir.
And all that stuff that you told Officer Summerhour and that you described to me as signs, is all that true?
Yes, sir.
Now, he mentioned, did y'all Mirandize her? Is that a Dixon Police Department ambulance?
No, sir.
Was she under y'all's custody and control at that minute?
No, sir.
In fact, what was your... Look, obviously you're concerned with justice. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
What other considerations are you guys concerned with on a scene like this?
Her safety and her well-being.
So
that's why I asked for a second ambulance to get her checked out.
And you got to manage all that at the same time, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Those are my questions.
Yes, sir.
Anything further, Mr. Spratt?
Briefly, Your Honor. Sergeant Summerer, let me ask you this. Did you interview Miss Phillips or any of the other bystanders that showed up on the scene?
I'm Sergeant Chandler. You said Sergeant Summerer. I don't know.
Sorry. Sergeant Chandler, did you interview any of the other witnesses, or did somebody else do that?
I think someone else did. I know we got some statements from them.
Okay.
But that's simply handing them a piece of paper, write down what you saw, getting in, moving on with paperwork.
All right. But Officer Summerhour said he was in a closed ambulance with Miss Brown and he couldn't smell any alcohol, didn't he?
That's what he said on the phone, yes, sir.
Now, something that you mentioned later on in that phone call there about getting the hospital's blood. You and Sergeant Summerhour spoke about that, right?
Yes, sir.
And that would be blood that would have been drawn upon Miss Brown going to the hospital.
Yes, sir.
Those are my questions, Your Honor.
Anything else?
Actually, just one, Judge. So are you familiar with this Oktoberfest thing that the fire EMS was telling you about?
Yes, sir.
How far is this wreck location from the location where Oktoberfest is?
Maybe a mile, roughly.
So real close.
Yes, sir.
And is all of this here in Dixon County?
Yes, sir.
Those are my questions.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, Sergeant Chandler. You can step down and we'll release you from your subpoena. Arnold, you have another witness?
We do, Judge. This is a long one and involves even more video. I didn't know if Your Honor wanted to do the 2:30.
Well, we'll go ahead. We usually take an afternoon recess at 2:30, so we'll go ahead and take that recess now. We'll be in recess for about 15 minutes. Folks, I would remind you of my instructions. If you were to go outside to enjoy the weather or smoke or do whatever, just make sure you're back into the jury room and don't talk about the case with anyone or let anyone discuss it with you. Thank you. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
All rise. Court to recess 15 minutes.
Okay, well, they have a little break. We're going to do a quick recap, and then we'll skip the rest of the break. This is a trial where the defendant, the Miss Haley Brown, is on trial. She's charged in vehicular manslaughter. Oh, wait, I don't want to skip this part. The mics are hot. This happened yesterday. We're catching up. We're going to be caught up with trial here today. It's still going on.
Let me tell you something. He's let me call him lieutenant for the last 1,000,000 years. He gives a crud what's on his thing. It's a credit to him.
Nothing to do with it.
I stay back in Ashland City doing my own thing.
Good. After the 15-minute break, I don't anticipate it. I'm going to be playing bits and pieces for at least 30 minutes of stuff. You heard the break. That's my thought, but you know, I'm not going to. I know why it's going so fast. Because most of me argued all these things out, but
Well, that's what
25 hours of hearing.
That's how it's
you
supposed to go. Maybe not 25 hours.
You let me in.
Yeah.
How are you? Good. How are you? Pretty good.
It's a hot mic. It's not quite over. Not quite over. Can barely hear it. The mic's not cut yet. I'm going to skip ahead a bit.
God mercy. Oh, I just got a text from Miss McKinney letting me know that we're apparently broadcasting our conversation to the entire world. So hopefully I didn't use any. This one? Yeah, possibly even this very second.
Yep.
Good to know.
Good to know. I'm out of here. He's like heads for the door. Okay, so we're going to skip ahead. That's funny. That's all there was. I saw that brief little bit. So now we're going to skip ahead through the rest of lunch. Wait.
It is top notch.
What is this?
I need to get a refill on this delicious Dixon County filtered water. I know, isn't it so wonderful?
It is top notch.
I don't know, it's got a weird taste to it. Well, I bet they haven't changed the filter since they built the building. Probably not.
Oh, be advised, Olin, we might actually be broadcasting still.
Why is that?
Ms. McKinney said.
Yeah, we're live. They killed it. They killed the audio. Okay. Apparently, the water in Dixon County is not good. They say they haven't changed the filter on the water in a long time. What is this? They're just chilling. We're still on break, and she's just enjoying the witness stand. What's this about? She's just pretending she's a witness. Okay, now she's gone. Let's see. A few more minutes of break. Everyone's still. Here we go. Judge is back. All right. Did I cover it? This is a jury trial. The jury is here. 3 charges against Miss Haley. She killed her fiance, who was Mr. Brown. She's Haley Brown. He was Jason Lee Brown. Don't know why they had the same name. They could have just had the same name and been engaged to each other. The Brown is a common name that way. So.
We ready to bring the jury in?
No, we're missing Mr. Spratt. He was just here. There he is. Sorry, Judge.
All right. All right, let's bring in the jury.
We're up to 18 y'alls so far.
Oh, goodness, yes.
We are ready.
Let's see. Day 2 is still going on in this trial right now. So they are at least an hour ahead of us. So we're trying to catch up. We're skipping breaks to catch up because they have to take lunches and all. Let's see. Vehicular homicide by intoxication, vehicular homicide by recklessness, and DUI are the 3 charges. I'll have to look those up in Dixon County, Tennessee to see what those penalties are.
Mr. Arnold, are you ready for your next witness?
We are, Your Honor. The state of Tennessee calls Sergeant Sierra Reprogel to the stand.
This judge is one of my favorites. I love how he explains things. That's why I listen to all the intro, because he makes it so clear. The whole judicial system is at least how it operates in Tennessee. He explains very well.
Step right around, Officer, Sergeant, brother, and raise your right hand and be placed under oath.
You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give in this case be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, self. I swear.
Well, she got a practice run in the chair just to see how it looked.
How's it going this afternoon, Sergeant?
It's good. How are you?
I can't complain. If you would please tell us who you are and what you do.
I am Sergeant Sierra Reprogel. I work for the Dixon Police Department. I'm a sergeant over patrol.
Now, if you would please spell your name for the court reporter.
SIERRAREPROGAL.
Now, were you employed with the Dixon Police Department back on October 3rd, 2020?
Yes, sir.
If you would please tell us what happened that evening that brings you into court today.
I was patrolling the road. I was a field training officer at the time. I was training Officer Owen Huff. We heard a call come out for, I believe it was an MVA, motor vehicle accident with injuries. I heard Sergeant Chandler and Corporal DeLoach going around to that call. They got on scene pretty quick. I then asked Sergeant Chandler if he needed backup or needed us to do anything. He advised we could direct traffic. We got on scene. He asked me to stay in the ambulance with Miss Brown while Officer Huff directed traffic. I stayed in the ambulance until they were ready to take her to the hospital. We went to the hospital and Major Christian, Sergeant Summerhour, and Sergeant Chandler then relieved us at the hospital.
She gave her whole statement
after the motor vehicle accident.
Now, are you equipped with what is sometimes called a body-worn camera?
Yes, sir.
And would you recognize footage from that night if I was to show it to you?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, if I may have the court's permission, I'm going to play from attorney's table.
I'll see if we can get it this afternoon. More body cam. Love a good ukulele jam session, though. Who doesn't? I mean, really.
Does this appear to be the body camera footage from that evening?
Yes, sir.
Now, Officer Reprogel, I'm going to play a handful of segments from that evening, and then I might ask you some questions about it as we go along.
Yes, sir.
And is the individual in that ambulance known to you as Haley Brown?
Yes, sir.
And actually, this evening isn't the first time you ever met Miss Brown, is it?
No, sir.
Did y'all go to school together?
Yes, sir.
Where was that?
Waverly Central High School.
This is in Dixon City, Dixon County.
2016. Were you driving the car? Yes, ma'am. And we were together, and we had been drinking. Yes, ma'am. Or yes, sir. And we had been drinking, and we were just, that was it. Why were you driving? I was drinking. I was driving. And he was just in the passenger seat, and I hit something.
She changed her everything.
Do not take me anywhere. They're checking her out right
Let me see.
My mom is my Heather. Heather called me. Please let me talk to her. Please let me talk to her. Please let me talk to her.
She admitted to drinking and driving.
This trial is going on right now. We're just a couple hours behind what's actually happening.
She's my dental hygienist.
Really?
She does my braces.
Where?
On the high school with her. Yeah, Haley Bell, maybe?
I ain't got a name for it.
Hey, Haley, what's your last name? Brown, Haley Brown. What's your birthday, Haley?
9/6/92. Please.
Now, at this point, what are y'all's concerns? What are y'all trying to accomplish?
We're trying to make sure she's okay. She was obviously intoxicated and very upset. We were trying to make sure she was breathing and just get her taken care of at the time.
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
You got 19 or
Judge, I
20
object
and
to that
21.
conclusion and move to strike. There's no basis that she's saying she's given an opinion as to something that she's laid no foundation for. It's a conclusory statement.
Overruled.
Take the car, go to PD, get a blood kit, and a violation of implied consent form. Or implied consent form. Yeah.
All of her vital signs have been on and she's refusing to transport this message. I'll just keep her there right now. Just okay, that's not taking out. I understand. She has no name. She don't know. They're taking care of him, okay?
What? No, I'm good.
Were you able to see on this playing that pole right there?
Honestly, I was not paying attention to the poll.
Okay, do you mind if I run it back for a sec?
Yes, sir.
She has no injuries and she's refusing transport.
No, I'm good.
Is that pole with the light having fallen off of it and on the ground? Do you know if that's the pole that she struck?
I believe so, due to where I was at the time. That appears to be correct.
Did I miss the y'all? Very British. Make sure current. She had a point. She had a .161.
Haley? Stop! Haley, Haley, calm down. Calm down. Get in here. Haley? Haley. 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 Haley.
Hey, help me! Breathe. Help me! I'm a murderer! Breathe. I killed him! 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 Calm down, Haley. Calm down. Breathe. Please help me! Randy! 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 I love you! I love you! I love my mom! I love Randy! I love it! Haley, breathe. Okay?
Haley, can you do me a favor? Can you sit back and just...
I would not be able to live without him! Please calm down. Let me have a moment. No,
sweetie. Listen to me.
Please talk to him. Please talk to him. Please talk to him. Please. Yes. Please talk to him.
Can we sit back?
First, I want you to talk to him.
I will.
Right now.
Right now, okay?
Right now. Talk to him right now. Randy.
I'm gonna step outside. I'm gonna step outside the ambulance.
Please get me home.
Okay?
Please calm down, okay? Calm down. Breathe, okay? Please. Calm down. Sierra. Yeah. I cannot deal with that. Calm down. I cannot deal. Calm down, okay? I want you to know that I love you. Okay. With my dark boy, and I didn't mean to do anything to you. Okay, just try and breathe for me, okay?
That's better.
I didn't do anything to him. I didn't mean to do anything to him. I'll fight him here.
It was an accident.
I'll fight him here. Please, bring him back. Please, I don't care. I will give you anything that I fucking have. Please, please bring him back. Please bring him back. Please bring him back. I just want to fucking die. I just want to die. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I just want to fucking die. Please bring him back. That's all I can.
We can lean back, okay? That's it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I've caused y'all this much trouble. I'm so sorry.
Thanks, Dad. We're here for you. You're not causing us any trouble at all, I promise you, okay?
Please bring him back. Please.
I wish I could.
I'll give you anything I fucking have. I don't care. Please bring him back. That's all I fucking want. Please bring him back. You can take me. I don't care. Please, please bring him back.
We're gonna take you to the hospital. Haley?
No.
We have...
No!
Hey,
Haley.
Now listen, I just talked to Randy, okay? You know Randy,
Yes.
right? So he's on his way. He's gonna meet you up at Horizon.
I don't want to go to the Horizon.
Your sister's already there.
She's on her way.
Your
She's on her way
sister-
from Charlotte. She's probably already there.
My sister's a nurse. She works at,
What was her name, honey?
Where's she
her name
work?
is Heather. She
Heather.
works at.
Natchez?
Yes. Yes.
Works
She works
where?
at Natchez.
Natchez,
Can
okay.
you do me a favor?
What's her last name?
Brown.
Okay.
Can you please not scream at me on the phone? I know you're upset. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. You got a lot of people that's gonna come up there and support you. I promise.
Okay.
There's gonna be people there to support you, love you, talk to you, hold your hand,
Bring him back.
tell you how much
I
they love
killed
you.
him.
No.
I killed him.
What was her name?
Now, did y'all ultimately go to Dixon Horizon Medical Center?
Yes, sir.
And did you go there with Miss Brown?
Yes, sir.
Now, what you were talking to the other officer about, the blood kit and the implied consent advisement, if you would, tell us a little bit about that.
So when we have someone that is suspected of driving under the influence, we will get a blood kit and take them to Horizon, and a phlebotomist will draw their blood. With the implied consent advisement, we read that to them, asking them if they consent to a blood draw or not. If they do not consent, we will mark that on the paper, and then we will get a search warrant and have a judge sign that, and then we'll get their blood. If they do consent, sometimes we'll still get a search warrant, or we'll just go ahead and get their blood with their consent.
I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a bit.
Oh, I did. It was strong. So you've been
Breathe, okay? I don't know. I'm sure your family.
Oh, and I actually forgot to ask you, when she started screaming, are you aware of why she started screaming? There in the ambulance on the scene?
Yes, sir. One of the firefighters told her that her boyfriend had passed away on the scene.
I'm going. Okay, I love you so much. Okay.
Haley, if you can, go ahead and get this on, okay?
Okay, I love you. Bye. I love you, Mom.
And in terms of the phone and the phone conversations, are y'all more or less letting her speak to whoever she needs to speak to from her family?
Yes, sir.
Hey, we got the next one. Yes, she come on. Haley, yes. When we get in this hospital, you cannot be screaming. Okay, I know you didn't, but when you get in the hospital, you can't be screaming, okay? Is my mom here? I don't know, I'm sure your family's on the way, but you can't be screaming in the hospital, okay?
Will you please, sir, do this to my dad?
I appreciate it. Can you put that back in the car, please?
Basically, they tell you no one is allowed in the road and it's just medical patients, no friends or family.
No friends or family? So only the doctors?
All you have to tell us is they need or ready. That's it.
Oh my God! I'm doing this to my dad.
Haley, breathe. You can't be screaming in the hospital, okay? Or breathe, okay? Okay, just breathe, okay? Breathe. We're going in the hospital.
I'm doing this to my dad. Please, son, I love you to my dad. I do this. I do this to my dad. I love you. Please, son, I do this to my dad. I love you so much. Please, son. I did not do this to my dad. I did not kill my dad. I did not kill my dad.
Haley.
I love him so much. I did not kill my dad.
Haley, remember what I said? Breathe, okay?
Dad?
Kill my dad. I did not kill my dad.
Haley, can you slide over here for me?
I did not kill my dad.
Can you sit down at the hospital? At Horizon?
I love my dad so much.
Sorry.
I did not.
Or opportunity. What's going to happen now? Make sure you're okay, all right?
I did not kill my dad. 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 I did not kill my dad.
Haley.
I love him so much. I love him so much. Where is my sister? I need my sister.
So, I need her family or something. They're not allowed back here.
Okay. We're just
I did not want any medication.
Only medical personnel, and then us, and then Red and Jerry Summerhour, and that's it. So none of her friends or family are allowed in here.
No medication.
Just blood, that's it.
I want my sister. Please. Let me get my sister. No. Her name is Heather. Heather Brown.
She works in Natchez.
She works in Natchez.
Be real still. Be real still, okay? Here.
She's self-dressed right now, that's assuming she told her dad.
We're gonna make sure you're
Her
okay.
dad died a long time ago, I guess, and she was on phone with the person who was like, actually, no, I killed my dad. But she knows that we'll just take her door and make sure she doesn't do anything crazy. Well, we'll just take her, but she went to high school with her, and she's my dental hygienist. Well, not my dental hygienist, but she does my braces. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. You locked it, right?
Now, why is she talking about her dad? What did she become confused? We
Yes,
talked
sir.
about that. So, I mean, what was she confused about, apparently?
She was confused on if it was her dad that passed away or her boyfriend.
I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead again. And does y'all's body camera split up an hour at a time in terms of how it records the video? Do you know?
I believe the old ones did.
Oh, that's right. You guys have a new system, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Does this appear to be the continuation of that footage?
Yes, sir.
Why is there blood on my pants? Please tell me why there's blood on my pants. Did I kill my dad? Did I kill my dad? Did I kill my dad?
I didn't see the wreck scene, okay? So I don't know whose blood that is. I can't answer that question. I have no idea. I didn't even see your car, really. I have no idea. I don't know. I
just want him to be alive.
I stayed with you the whole time.
I just want him to be alive. I did this on purpose. I didn't mean to do this. I love him so much. We were just having a good time. We were hanging out together. And that's it.
That could be her dad sitting behind her in the courtroom.
I'll be back.
It's Dad.
What is it?
So, I've got family up from her. They think Dad's dead. Because she's calling on the phone, or text them, that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
So, not Dad.
No, it's her boyfriend.
Okay. And, I mean, I'm fine with no visitors, but I'm gonna pass it on as PD states no visitors at this time. Because her sister works at Natchez, she's an ER nurse there. She's already pulled the whole policy thing. She can handle visitor, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm just telling her PD says no.
Yeah, that's instructions from our captain, the one that's working the right thing right now. She was driving under the influence, she's admitted all that stuff. She wrecked, her boyfriend was a passenger, he died.
Okay, single car?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna pass on any information unless
Yeah.
they ask me to death.
Yeah, because she still has her phone, which I think one of the EMS guys already told her,
Okay.
but she's like so drunk that in her head she's like, I killed my dad.
Okay.
Which at first she's like, I killed my boyfriend, but now she's,
Okay.
yeah.
I just wanted to get some things straight before I went and talked about it.
Yes.
So, we're on the same page. I'm telling them that y'all, the PD states we can't have any
Yeah.
feedback. No one can do that. Okay, that's fine. I mean,
I'm sorry for you in that situation.
It is what it is, man. I get it. All right.
Very British. I didn't hear this last one.
She's dead.
Are you winding me up?
What?
Very British.
Is who dead? Yes. Man, I don't know. Like I said, I've been with you this whole time, okay?
Dad was not in the car. It was just her and her boyfriend or fiance. They're not telling her because she's going to have a big reaction.
I really want to just talk to her family and let them know what's going on.
But we can't.
But maybe we could, but she's gonna tell her sister. And like she's already been told that he's dead. And I guess she forgot. And it's gonna be bad when she hears it again. Like that. She starts screaming. All we need is wait on her to get here.
Yeah.
I don't. Please just listen to me. I'm so sorry. Please listen to me. We were at House of Brews and we were leaving and I was driving and I caused an accident and I don't know if Jason's alive or not and I'm so sorry. I love you so much and I'm so sorry. I don't know right now. I'm so upset. I don't know.
Oh my God, please tell us.
She does
Please understand.
Okay. I'll take care of that. I don't think she'll start slinging stuff, but I'm just gonna tell her
know that I didn't kill him, and I love him so much.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell her again that Jason died. They already told her, but I think she forgot. So that her family knows. I just want to give you a heads up, she might freak out a little bit. She was, when they told her earlier, she started screaming.
I'm in the ER in Dixon. I'm so sorry if I'm not cussing. So he's not alive. I know he's not, and I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't do it. I promise. Please don't. Please hurry. Please. I love you, and I'm so sorry. I didn't do this on purpose. I promise. I love him so much, and I didn't mean to do this, and I don't know what to do. I'm so sorry. I'm so.
Haley, can I talk to you real quick? You get off the phone real quick so I can talk to you? Okay. I have to get off the phone, okay? I love you. I'm so sorry. Okay, I love you. Bye. Okay, so in the wreck, Jason did not make it. Okay? I'm so sorry. Why did I have to fucking make it? No! Hey, Haley? I didn't want to fucking make it! Why did I have it? Why? Haley. Your family's gonna be here? I don't care! And listen, they care about you, okay? I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about this. Fuck that. Okay, well, they'll be able to come in here and you'll be able to see your family and stuff, but we gotta wait on my captain to get here, okay? Because he needs to talk to you. No! Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why? Haley, you're in a hospital. Breathe, okay? You cannot scream like that. You can't scream like that in a hospital, okay? Just breathe. I don't want to fucking live. Why? Haley. Why did that happen? Why?
And why did you feel the need to tell her that Jason was the one who had died?
Because she was telling her family at that point that her father was deceased, and she was thinking in her head.
Objection, speculation.
Yeah, that's
I
sustained.
think we may have skipped the spot.
Sorry.
Said object, calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Well,
she's trying to say
the question was, why did you tell her that Jason had died, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Well, I object to the answer is non-responsive then. She's trying to testify what my client was thinking in her head. It was the way she was answering it.
Overruled, I think the testimony has been that she was saying that it was her father that she thought had passed away and she was disoriented. I think the officer's response was that she was telling her that. The question was, why did you tell her it was Jason that had died? And that explanation is to give the reason why she told her. So overruled.
So if you would, why was it that you told her that Jason had died?
Because she was stating that she killed her father. She thought her father and Jason were dead. There was a point, I don't know if it was skipped or not, but she was thinking that they were both dead.
And she was communicating that to her family, correct?
Yes,
Via
sir.
the phone. Okay.
She was stating it was better. She was thinking that is
I'm going to go ahead and
problematic.
jump ahead.
Confirm things, we got.
Okay, so are you talking about with the body?
No, I know about the body. I want to tell his family. What's going on in here right now? Is she under arrest? Are we investigating her right now?
This is an investigation right now.
Okay. Guys, there's something we need to talk about.
Okay.
We do not tell patients who have not medically cleared their loved ones are passed in the emergency department.
Okay.
That's not our job.
Okay,
It's our job.
they had already told her.
I know. But she didn't know and she wasn't sure, and so we don't confirm things. We gotta get her calmed down and make sure she can agree to an evaluation and make sure she has no injuries.
Okay, well, I don't work here. I don't work here, so I'm not aware.
I'm letting you know.
Okay.
Because now we gotta wait until even longer so we can actually properly talk to her and see if she actually will let us evaluate her. Because for all I know, she's got an injury. We
Okay.
gotta wait longer.
All right, well, like I said, they already told her, and I was just letting her know because she thought her dad was dead. And she was literally screaming.
I know. They shouldn't have told her that.
Well, I mean, they did, and that's just what we got now. Okay? Is there anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
a little power struggle between the officers and the nurses.
Now, how many fatal investigations had you worked prior to this one?
A handful.
Not many?
Yeah, not many.
And had you ever been in a position like this before this?
No, sir.
I'm going to jump ahead again.
This is a police
I have
investigation.
a patient after a car crash. My job is to keep her alive.
Okay, well,
Your
this is a
job is to
police
see that she
investigation.
gets punishment, she gets it, I understand that. I'm not trying to interfere with your job, you understand that this is getting in the way of my job and her safety potentially. That is where we're at right now. So I can call him if you'd like, she's either under arrest now or I have to ask you to step out, but I will confirm with your captain. Do you have a number for him?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. What's his name?
Tom Christian. I might be able to get him on the phone, actually. What's your name, sir?
Captain Lippert.
Lippert?
So we're down right now.
$122 to 120. Okay, well, I'm getting it. Give me a call when you get a chance.
That was quick.
Hey, are you with Brad? Okay, well, I have Dr. Lippert here saying he's gonna bring the family in because she's not under arrest. And he wants to speak with Captain Christian. Okay.
Hands are clean, terribly sorry.
Okay. I don't like that. He has my freaking phone. I don't get his last name, I just like, oh, I don't see a problem in that, but they've been giving us orders to not let anyone in this room.
No one's allowed to raise their gun first. That was what I was told, nothing's gonna happen until I'm done.
This is a big.
And sorry to pause this. I see everyone's got masks. Is this still the height of COVID, basically?
Yes, sir.
I literally never thought. Oh my God. I'm going there, I'll wait for you to come back.
She's not being too loud right now.
What's so stupid when I hear that? Like, like, hey.
There you go. Go grab something to wipe up there for you. So we're gonna go halfway. He says, so you guys stay in the room.
Okay.
One family member, if that's comfortable with you guys. He says that's fine.
I was following orders.
I know you are.
It's not that I don't want
I'm not trying
them.
I'm not trying to bust your chops on this.
Okay.
You just out there and say my primary responsibility is keeping you safe. I know you guys got a job. You guys are stuck doing what you're told to do. I get that. I gotta worry about her, and on top I gotta worry about the next people coming in. She's taking up a bit.
Okay. So one at a time?
So maybe one family at a time?
Okay.
Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah,
He said it's fine, I gotta play with you guys too.
That's perfectly fine with it.
They decided on a compromise.
Hello?
The officer's going to be allowed to be in the room, but one family member is going to come in as well.
Okay. Okay, so you want maybe have to stay out here and just me in there with the family member? Okay, all right, that works. Yeah, that's good. I've been touching all over, it's not a big deal.
I know, but I've been around sick people.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I just want my mom here. I just want my sister. I just want anybody. I just don't want to be here. I just have a father. I think I hit a pole. I either hit a mailbox or I hit a pole. And did I hit a mailbox? Did I hit another person?
I'm not 100% what it was.
She said she doesn't know what it was, but I heard that I hit a mailbox or I hit a pole.
She's trying to recreate the accident in her head.
Like we were leaving House of Words, like we were leaving, we were getting ready to go home, and we were driving downtown, and they said, you know, like it was just over, and then I don't know what happened.
On 21 Central.
That's what Randy said.
121.
Randy told me not to let him.
You would show myself in the tow truck car ride. Chrissy's tow up.
That's the call for the tow truck taking the car from the scene. Christy's tow.
I love him so much, I just want my mama so bad. Oh, you got
Central City Car Clear out 990 Pomona Road, 990 Pomona Road. Another resident or commercial alarm activation. 46, show me your route. 46 in the last stop. Show me key holder information. We don't have a key holder information one at this moment. Still on the phone together, further stand.
Yeah, we were just ready to go home.
Simple.
And we had to go home. And I was driving. And I had less strength than him. And that's all I remember.
I had less to drink than him. I was driving.
I'm so sad. I told my mom to come back.
146. Okay.
Mama! Mama's here. I'm gonna let you go, okay?
Yeah,
I love you. No, he's not. No, he needs to be right here. That's unfair. It's unfair. I need you there. I need you there. I love you so much. I need you there. I don't care what you to be right. Please take this officer alive.
146 Central, 160 tag along. Yeah. Coming Tennessee, 3, Victor 3, 4, Echo 7.
It's okay. He'll be, don't blame yourself. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. I'm far over my hands.
You're 150 this second.
Her mom's saying it's going to be okay. Don't blame yourself. She says it's not okay. I've got blood on my hands.
150, I'm under arrest on yours. Gary, 150 under traffic. 146.
Why did we do that?
Go ahead. Try contacting the key holder, got no answer. And some contact someone in the store now.
I don't know why the officer has not turned down her radio.
146 Central, 170, right? Go ahead. Also, the alarm company says there's a D-shift on the scene. It did not provide proper passcode.
So the radio traffic has to do with a residential alarm or commercial alarm.
068 729 777.
Mom's been able to calm her down a little bit here. The hospital's still trying to check her out. She needs to be calm so that they can do a quick check to see she may be injured and not know it.
$146. Go ahead. She's now unclear. 10-1.
I'm actually good right now. I appreciate it.
You have an extra one in the car? Follow action, you're probably going to need it.
The police are trying to get a blood draw. So they're observing right now to make sure she doesn't take anything that would cause
Can you
the blood draw
tell
not to be infected.
just from audio who that is who's just arrived on the scene?
It was Sergeant Summerhour.
Towels in there.
I think she's changing out PPE right now. Getting set to do a blood draw.
So we've been arguing nonstop with the doctors, because she's not under arrest. So blah, blah, blah. We're giving orders not to let anyone in this room.
EMS confirmed the death on scene time right before we got an ambulance. And then she's like freaking out thinking she killed her dad. And I told her, I was like, it was your dad and she was crazy.
She was screaming she killed Jason.
Yes, but then she got here and she was screaming that she killed her dad. And then Jason, back and forth, like both of them. She's like, I killed both of them. And I was like,
She's just recounting the events to her sergeant here.
It was Jason, not her dad. He's like, yeah. So I went and told her. So then this doctor comes up to me. He's like, just so you know, we don't confirm death in this hospital. You don't. He started going with my name because I confirmed the death. And I did not confirm the death. EMS did. I was telling her that it wasn't her dad. It was Jason. She thought she killed both of them. And it was a huge thing. He's like, and then he started thinking, he's like, well, I'm going with him, and she's not in the house, blah, blah, blah. I was like, we were getting orders. This is an investigation right now.
Right.
Nobody's not in the train. He's like, well, I want to speak to whoever it is, blah, blah, blah. So I got right on the phone and let him talk to him, and that's when they set this up. But it's been, I just want you to know what you're coming into. Okay?
So he, has the lay of the land.
Keep going.
Peace out. Is that what she said? She does not want to be in there.
Say nothing about this. Fuck off. He turned me up. He's like, no, stop talking. I'm like, I'm not pressed on talking. I see you flowing. He's like, stop talking. I'm like,
Switch should be clear. 764, that's going to be the floor manager.
So there's suspicion of alcohol being involved at this point. That's why they're doing the blood draw, or they're about to, but they don't have the information. They do have a couple different confirmations. She said they'd both been drinking, that she had drunk less than Jason had, and that she was driving. She doesn't know what she's hit. She's showing signs of intoxication because of the confusion, slurred words. I can't see the eyes and bloodshot. The camera's not clear enough for that. But definitely enough reason for them to do a blood draw. The officer whose body cam we're watching is mostly just still mad that the doctor chewed her out for telling the defendant in the hospital there that Jason was dead. Even though she had already been told before. They said, that's not how it's done. You don't do that. And you're in my world now. You play by my rules. That is her mom that's with her. The police have allowed one family member, even though there are more family members there, I think. They've allowed one family member to come into the hospital room, but police are staying in the room as well. LJ, I think the person that told her might have been one of the people that was trying to save Jason's life.
Haley, I'm Sergeant Summer of the Dixon Police Department. All right. I have a form I need to read to you. All right. It's Tennessee Implied Consent Advisory. Okay. Are you willing to consent to a blood and/or breath test? Say no. All right. This is mentioned the mandatory blood draw. Where the probable cause believes you have committed a crime that requires blood and/or breath testing. If you refuse to submit to either or both of these tests, they will not be given unless required by law, which in this case it is required by law, okay? If you do refuse to be tested, your license will be suspended for at least 1 year and up to 5 years, depending on your driving history. Also, if you refuse, you may be ordered to install and keep an ignition interlock on your vehicle for a year or more. All right, you understand that?
That's right. And so if I consent, then what does that mean?
If you consent, that just means we don't have to go with the rest of the paperwork that I have for you.
So it could still be that I would have an interlock in my car?
It's possible. Okay. All right. After being informed that there is a probable cause you have committed a crime which requires you to submit to a blood and/or breath test, and being requested to submit to a chemical test or test to determine the alcohol and/or drug content of your blood, and also having the consequences of refusing to submit to such test explained to me, I state that you will or you will not consent.
Okay. Myself and 103 are going to be clear from the crash scene here. 103 is going to be around to the hospital. I'm going to be around the house bridge for follow-up on this.
We need your final answer here.
I want to cooperate.
46, 120, let me head your way.
Let me explain this to you.
Yes, sir.
If you refuse to submit to it, that can lead up to an additional charge of violating the implied consent law.
Okay.
All right. If you consent, then that charge goes away.
I'll consent.
You gonna consent?
Yes, sir.
She consents.
Here's what I need you to do, all right?
Yes, sir.
I need you to sign for me. Sign right here.
Yes, sir.
103,
Sign your name right there.
But I
It
can.
says, I will consent to a test or test.
Sir, what's the number?
Oh.
All right. Are you familiar with that form? Is that the form that I'd asked you about before that he's reading to her?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. And then I'm going to play one more section.
What you told her? What comes to that? Where the old crap handles at? Right there. Because she can start.
Skipping through.
This is I'm freaking tired of being at this hospital.
Yeah.
Holy crap. What? I don't know. I don't know if they're like getting the warrants right now or. What? Huh? On her? Yes. Well, I think they were getting search warrants for her blood, but she consented to blood. So, I don't know, we're kind of out of the loop. And I mean, this is good training for sometimes you get thrown into a shit show and you don't have a lot to go on, you just have orders.
We were told we were doing what we were told to do. Look, Captain literally said no one in there, besides mental work.
Yeah.
I said otherwise, and that was what we were told, that's what we did. But yeah, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that.
doctor apologized.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I apologize for the way things went also.
We were only doing what we were told.
They're commiserating with each other, saying, "Hey, we were doing what we were supposed
She
to."
started talking about, I can't play with them. I took my dad, and I'm like, dude. Like, we were the ones put in that situation, and we handled it how we felt best, period.
Yeah.
And like, I even went to that doctor, and I was like, hey, listen, I'm messing up. Is this Jason? And he's like, yeah.
Just started again. Why did you back up?
The doctor apologized.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I apologize for the way things went also.
We were only doing what we were told.
Well, she started talking about, I can't play with them. I took my dad, and I'm like, dude. Like, we were the ones put in that situation, and we handled it how we felt best, period.
Yeah.
And like, I even went to that doctor. And
He's playing it twice. I don't know why.
Is this Jason? And he's like, yeah.
Just bring your mask on. I can't smell anything. I can't smell anything.
I can't even breathe.
I'm rebreathing my air right now.
Yeah, you're recirculating inside your mouth.
And it's just hot in that room too.
Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna do. They've already gone away to the hospital. We've got her blood by consent. So I'm gonna go over to the lab and execute a search warrant on down to the lab and leave it for blood to take out from the lab. That way we'll have 2 blood samples. And we'll send one to them, send them both to TBI. Just in case I have to get another blood draw. Did you have one in your car? Did you not?
Nope. I mean, that's smart. We actually don't keep them in our cars. But I think I might now.
150 to 103.
They've got a plan how they're going to get a search warrant for the blood that the hospital just drew. And take that to the lab and find out what the blood alcohol content is.
Hey, Kevin, can you swing by PD and grab me an extra DA kit? I've got the one that we used for her, and I need one for the lab.
So what's the reason I don't get 2 for them?
What's that?
What's the reason I don't get 2 blood samples?
Just in case we lose one. Not as in physically losing, just in case we lose it, or something like that, because she consented. Her attorney may try to go, oh, she was emotionally unstable, she was not able to make that decision.
And you'll always do that when you got like a fatality crash?
Most of the time, when we have fails, the driver actually dies. This one's one of those rare. This is the first one I've worked since I've been a reconstructionist where the driver survived and the passenger died.
Wow. I thought this was more standard.
Yeah, they said he looked pretty bad.
Yeah, he did. His head did. From what I can see.
What did his head hit? What did his head hit?
The roof of the car right there, you know where the old crap handle's at? Right there.
Dang.
Central City Car, BTR, Integrity 101 3rd Street, 101 3rd Street, area emergency license line.
Yeah, I think.
Is she back in there? Yeah.
The land residents come over Bulldog, claiming that the away of bladder tonight that he usually is, your complainant does not want contact.
When Greg gets here with another VA kit, I'll go to the lab.
Okay.
I'm shell here.
So at this point, did she go actually have to use the bathroom?
Yes, sir.
And was that your trainee that went in that direction and stayed by the door?
Yes, sir.
So from a little bit after 8 to now, almost 3 hours, was Haley ever, further than maybe 20, 25 feet from you?
No, sir.
And in all that time that you were with her, did you see her use any drugs or consume any alcohol?
No, sir.
So she didn't have an opportunity to do anything like that the whole time you were there, did she?
No, sir.
Now, Your Honor, that's the state's direct. I've got a bad feeling that the cross is going to take a little bit of time, Judge. So I don't know if we want to break now or if.
Well, I think we had a situation where we cannot go beyond 4:30, and I assume your cross is going to maybe go longer than that.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, the courthouse usually closes at 4, but we usually, on a trial situation, we'll go beyond that depending on what their circumstances are. But we have some things that are going to have to be dealt with today, so we're going to have to stop here. And I would just remind you that my instructions about not trying to look anything up about this, not trying to do any research, don't try to go back and look for articles about it. Just try to put it out of your mind until tomorrow morning. And we need you here about, what time do you want them here, Madam Clerk? It would be ideally if you could be here between 8:30 and 1:45 so that we make sure everyone's here by 1:45. We can get started at 9 o'clock sharp. When you come in,
this was
again,
yesterday,
Officer
so
Howell
we're
will
caught up
direct you,
to
but
today now.
we'll put you back in the jury room instead of coming into the courtroom, because there's sometimes other cases that I have to deal with, or there are things about this case that I have to deal with in the courtroom. So ideally, that would be that you just come in and go back to the jury room. All right, thank you. We will stand.
And Your Honor, I apologize. The body cam footage is the state's next.
All right, we'll make that the next exhibit. What is that number now?
Exhibit 5.
Exhibit 5. President, we'll need you back here tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll stand adjourned until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Okay, so they finished. That was yesterday. Judge is off the bench.
Court's adjourned for the day.
Court's adjourned. Judge is gone. We're going to take a lunch break. Then we're going to pick up with what is happening today. We will skip their breaks and lunches as well. So we're going to see if we can catch up. And I don't know if it's going to take the full day.
Are you going?
Look and see where they're at.
You gonna lock this up? Yeah, lock it up. I'm gonna leave some of my junk here. I don't, that way Jack can't look at it.
That's helpful. Yeah, they discount you.
Right.
Yeah, because Jack can't get anything to wear.
Too shy.
Nobody will be allowed in the courtroom until both parties are here in the morning if they leave that stuff in here.
So they're going to leave the.
Done that way is what we did with Judge Ash.
Are you gonna take it? All right, I guess we'll take it on.
So she is out on bond.
One of the attorneys outside.
She's not in custody. I'm listening for yalls. Do you hear any yalls in there? Everyone's just standing around. They can actually leave.
We off camera?
Okay, so
We are off camera, sure.
Are we off camera? Oh, now it doesn't ring out both of them. Miss Pam, are we off camera now?
She said yes.
I'll just tell them what they are.
well, they like that. I like to send them, My wife finally got that printer set up where it works in the house.
Like, we're hot. Mike's hot, y'all. Just got the name.
He's like, oh, we're hot. Mike's hot. Mike's hot. Y'all. Okay. For having Heavenly Wood in the courtroom. Now the mic's gone. So there we go. All right. They have Heavenly Wood in the courtroom, and a great sound system. We love that we can see this. We heard some y'alls in there. I think I need to, let me go back there just briefly. We had one extra y'all. We got up to 26. We're hot, Mike's hot, y'all. I heard that. Now we go back here. We're going to take a lunch break. When we come back, we're going to start with what's going on today in the courtroom right now, because this case is still ongoing. I'm not sure if it's done like right this second, so I'm not sure how much we have to catch up on, but we're about an hour or two behind what's happening in court. So we're going to be back for part 2. And that's all. We got the +1 y'alls. Good catch right there on the end. We needed that. So we're up to 26. Thank you, very British. It's the British. It's the foreigners that are catching the y'alls. I've grown used to it so much, so it's easy for me to miss it. So glad to be back on Eastern Time, says Angelique. Yes, we'll be back. I need a break. Wow, I've had too much water. Break time is not soon enough for me. Can we sing Happy Birthday again? No, I butchered it this morning. Whoa. Where's my phone ringing? Okay, sorry, my phone was ringing in here. All right, we'll be back. Give us half an hour. Does half an hour work? 30 minutes. RA is not a camel. This is true. This is true. I'm not a camel. Ricky, this is news to a lot of people. Yes, this particular episode is not sponsored by Depends, so I need a break. We'll see you guys on the other side. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again in about half an hour. Let's make it 1:15 Eastern. Is that all right? Maybe 1:20? Give us a couple extra minutes, 1:20? Sounds good. First person in chat, as always, gets gifted the internet. Angelique did a great job with it. Good job. Wonderful. Appreciate that. We'll be here back in 20 in some minutes. I think it's 35, 40 minutes, something like that. Don't hold me to this one. It's been a rough day, guys. It's been a rough day. If I just get to hit the right button and it goes on air, I'm going to count that as a win. Hopefully you can join me. We're going to get the rest of what happens today starting then. Guys, have a good lunch. We'll see you in a minute.